What's up, tricksters and tricksetas, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review presented by your favorite reading coach, Charlatano Papito. Today we have a Captain Gorgeous playing in Silver 1, actually Silver 2 elo, on bind with a Chambere. So, let's see what our Vamos guy is gonna offer, and let's first see, what he told us for this VOD review. About me, I'm a new Valorant player. My 15-year-old son introduced me to the game this summer, and I got hooked immediately. In a previous life, I was a competitive CS 1.6 OP player. That's why I'm really having a lot of fun playing Chamber. I say I'm currently Silver 1 with a game sense of Silver 2, the mechanical skill of a Bronze 2, and the balls of a Radiant. Probably not a good thing. Listen, Silver 1 is almost the same as Silver 3. And Silver 1 is almost the same as Bronze 2. Like, the difference between Iron, Silver, and Bronze and Gold is pretty marginal. You know? Like, you can see some terrible players everywhere. So, I don't know. I don't know how can you separate, like, a game sense of a Silver 3 player and a Bronze 2. Because the difference is, you know, a very fine, thin line. Very fine, thin line. Also, I don't know how old are you, but if our guy is too old, you know, you need, like, I always say to the players that are a bit older, like, depending on your strengths and weaknesses, depends how you want to grind Valorant. What you want to abuse, what you want to play, how versatile you want to become, you know, which weapons to abuse and stuff like that. Okay, my goal is to reach an elo where I play with people who understand the game at a bit higher level. So that is Immortal 3 and Radiant. Okay, good goal. Right now, it often feels like I'm running a daycare center for 11-year-olds and mentally unhinged adults. Nothing is gonna change. Like, you just described the gameplay in Valorant from Iron 1 to Radiant. So, don't have any high expectations, to be honest. Okay, so we're reviewing what Chamber on Bind. Okay, I feel like every game I play is like a difficult labor. It is. You know, every game of Valorant, it is like that. That's why I always say that when you're grinding ranks in Valorant, the worst thing you can do is trying to brute force your ranks. Like, just mindlessly playing Valorant 24/7. If you're doing that, Valorant ranked will always feel like a labor to you, and as you're working a 9-to-5 job. Like, you really want to be efficient in everything that you do, and actually apply the smart grind. The smart grind, essentially. Like, there is a huge difference between a smart grind and a dumb grind. The dumb grind is just a player that gets on his PC, does absolutely nothing, queues up 10 ranked matches in a row, and thinks he's gonna get better. Yes, if you play 20,000 games of Valorant, like that, you're definitely gonna reach Radiant. But let's try to minimize, you know, the amount of time that you spend. Certain aspects of my gameplay are clearly holding me back. For example, mechanical skill with rifles and clean crosshair placement, clearing angles. I talked about this quite a lot in my previous VOD review that I did yesterday. Basically, I'm gonna leave the link maybe in the description of this video. It was like the full link to that VOD review. It was a Bronze 2 Jet player on Sunset, I think. And in that video, I explained literally everything. When it comes to the mechanical skill, when it comes to crosshair placement, clearing angles and positioning, and it's a really good VOD review for you. And basically, both you and that player have kind of similar problems and are in the similar skill group as well. So, even beside this VOD review, you know, of yourself, I highly recommend you to check that previous VOD review, because it's going to help you a lot, tremendously. I'm also very unsure about pathing and taking control of bomb sites. That's why you have my playbook on my Discord server at Agent Guides. Every map covered, every angle covered, every bomb site covered, every pathing covered, and no matter which agent you're playing, everything is covered. Main source for you. The attacker side and playing retakes feel like my biggest weakness. Okay? In this particular game, the principle of staying close to teammates and refragging finally clicked for me, but I still need a lot of work there too. we're gonna see that. We're gonna check it. I also feel that on defense, I failed to properly read the enemy. In hindsight, I should have abused the operator and shotguns more on B set and showers, instead of forcing the A short position too much. But generally, especially when you're playing an agent, such as Chamber, like, you should never play the same position, same site 24/7. Like, you start and position yourself wherever you think the enemies are going to go next. And on defender side, like, predicting the enemies as a Chamber player is even more important. Because you have that teleport ability to instantly get a kill and get out. And, that's your main power on a defender side as a Chamber player. And of course, on a map such as Bind. I mean, shotguns and snipers are bread and butter for you. Like, literally abusing the close range weapons, and the operator, and the outlaw, and everything. Every weapon on that map is so easy, especially with the agents such as Chamber. Okay. I'm watching the agent guys, but I have a few things I could use some extra guidance on. If you would have some resources, training videos on improving mechanical skill would be appreciated. I'm not used to playing at lower sense. I'm at 800 DPI, 0. Like, how is this lower sense, bro? My guy is playing on, how much EDPI is that? That's 400 something, 300 and above. 800, 0.147. I mean, this is not low sense. Like, this is pretty, medium to high sensitivity in Valorant. Now, when it comes to mechanical skill, the first thing I would recommend to you is check every guide, mechanical guide that I have, inside of the important guides on my Discord server. There I have explained a lot of different trainings, routines, and mechanical stuff. Watch that first. Also, once I finish this VOD review, I'm probably gonna share some kind of an aim training, to help you out. You will get some mechanical private coaching videos and some kind of an aim training as well. With a family and job, I'm not able to play every day as you recommend. Some days I can get some games in. How would you maximize Ank's efficiency? But for a player like you, first of all, first tip for you is, yes, you cannot play agents that are way too complicated, that require a high playtime. Player like you, I would never recommend to you an agent such as Omen, or Jet, or Yoru. You just don't have time to master these characters, and, it would be a waste. But on the other hand, agents such as Chamber, such as Clove, probably the best picks for you, to be honest. Because they're still strong characters, simple characters to use, and instead of focusing on actually mastering a complicated agents, we can just focus on improving all of the fundamental skill sets that we need in Valorant. So how would I maximize your efficiency is basically have a good warm-up routine, number one. Like, we're gonna see, what I can recommend to you. Then, beside that, try to play 1 to 2 ranked games every single day. One game if possible. And any free time that you have, I would just spend developing primarily my game knowledge as much as I can. But basic game knowledge, such as, what is a good and bad off angle, common position, setup, what to expect on each map, what to push on each map, which areas of the maps to prioritize, I would just fully learn everything from the playbook and then move on to everything else. Because if you have a limited playtime and not too much time to grind Valorant, doing anything else except this, you won't have, you cannot keep up with those kids that have 100 hours per day to play Valorant. Now, listen, your playtime in the previous act was actually pretty decent. 81 hours, that's actually more than enough to see some significant improvements in terms of your rank and gameplay. That's not that little. 81 hours is double of playtime of some players in Valorant that are all, Diamond, Ascendant, Immortal. So That's pretty, you know, if you can keep this playtime during every single act, we are good. We are good. Like, and the only thing that we need is like some kind of an external training as well, and it's fine. Like, this is not that bad. Now, what is bad is, of course, you know, we have a lot of gaps left and right in your tracker. But considering that you kind of started playing Valorant last act, and that you're a beginner in this game, this is okay. Not bad, not good. Like, it's okay, to be honest. 81 hours to get to silver 2 with pretty decent stats, except, you know, some of these mechanical stats and KST and win rate. Not bad, to be honest, for a player of your caliber. You know, players like you are usually the easiest to be coached and the best to be coached, because you didn't have a chance to develop any bad habit until now. So from now on, the only way is up. And I'm gonna try to share with you as much private coaching content as I can, based on the stuff that I'm gonna see in the VOD review, because, I mean, it's only one VOD review, so I don't know how many things you're gonna show me during that VOD. But, to be honest, like, if you apply everything that I'm gonna teach you during this VOD review, you apply the training that I'm gonna give you, and we find, you know, we nail certain playstyle and agents for you, we can easily get to maybe even Platinum 1 or close to Diamond during this act. Platinum 1 at least. And then next year, like, you know, who knows what's gonna happen. When it comes to the tracker, like, obviously your team play can be a bit better. Like, we're dying alone quite a lot. Some of the mechanical stats are shaky hands. You know, headshot percentage, for example, doesn't matter that much in Valorant. But having an overall headshot percentage below 20% for any rank in which you play is usually not a good sign. Yeah, it can be better. Especially with the Vandal and Phantom, we have only like 23 and 24, but we're gonna see in your gameplay, you know, like, what's actually happening. And for a beginner, like, you know, I really don't need to review your tracker. Like, probably, you know, we have a lot of gaps in your gameplay left and right. But to be honest, like, you might have a decent amount of strengths in your gameplay, considering your overall statistics. Usually when I see a player like you, you're just lacking a proper mindset to play this game in an efficient way. Like, just you need to learn when to stop, when to aggress, when to play with the teammates, when to bait a bit, when to go in first and stuff like that. And when it comes to the agents that you're playing, like, both Gecko and Chamber are pretty solid picks for a player like you, and at your skill level. Like, if these two agents work for you, I would just recommend you to play them, you know, during this act, and when I give you the training and everything, and then in 2 months from now we can see, you know, what type of changes should you make moving forward. Because one thing that I hate the most, and a lot of coaches do this, is like fixing a problem where problem doesn't exist. You know? You just keep spamming Chamber and Gecko while they're working for you. Focus on your fundamental problems and mistakes in gameplay. Better utility usage, better, you know, whatever the hell we're gonna see in the VOD review. And it's okay. You know, you can play Chamber and Gecko based on the maps, based on team compositions, or based on which agent you prefer on which map. And stay away from the Yoru, Vele, and Omen. Like, if you don't have a lot of time to actually grind the game and learn the game, like, they're really the agents that, first of all, you know, Yoru and Vele, they require some higher levels of awareness and knowledge to be used. And Omen, at your skill level, you can dominate the enemies with Omen, but like, you know, you need to spend like a lot of time with that agent to actually master him. So overall, pretty surprising tracker, considering how much he undermined himself in the... I was expecting some kind of a shit, bro. I was expecting to see some statistics like, you know, terrible stats. But it's actually pretty okay for a player of, you know, his caliber. You know, attacker side, okay. The defender side, you have negative win rate. So on defense, we're probably fighting more than we should, and we're dying first more than we should. Okay, we'll see. You know, player like you can have a lot of different problems, like we're gonna see them in during the VOD. But actually, I like what I see here. This is not bad. Just, you know, if you already found 2 agents that work for you, you don't need this shit. Just keep spamming what works. And when it comes to weapons, yeah, I mean, you can maybe work on your versatility a bit more, like, you know, especially when you're a beginner or in low elo, that is the best moment of time for you to start learning different weapons. Because a lot of times, you can do some dumb shit and get away being unpunished. While if you start learning these guns and playstyles and gameplay in Ascendant, Immortal, you're not gonna have a fun time. Not at all. So yeah, you know, like, give some love to the Bucky, Marshall, Judge, Spectre, Stinger, Shorty, Outlaw, and other weapons. When it comes to Phantom versus Vandal, you're pretty equal on both of these weapons. You know, you can use whatever you prefer. And I love that on Operator, he's actually really good, man. Like, he has a 1 kill per round on Op, 153 ADR. That is actually pretty decent. Pretty decent. And Tour de Force, like, also very good. Okay, we have a Sniper Minister. In eco rounds, we suck a bit. We need to fix that. We'll see what we can do better. Okay, this is gonna be... I expected some boring VOD review, but this can be a very good VOD review, actually. Okie el dokie. Okay, now we are on the attacker side of Bind. So, you know, you queue up the match. Now we need to ask ourselves, like, which map are we playing? Who are we playing that map with? What is the weakness of your team composition? And what is the weakness of the enemy's team composition? Now, unfortunately, the guy recorded a replay system. So, you know, I'm gonna be able to see where the enemies are and what they are doing, but I'll be completely honest with you, and I'll try to stay away from hindsighting as per usual as much as I can. Like, basically, before the round even starts, I'll tell you, like, what should we do in that specific example. Now, here. So, on Bind. First of all, like, on Bind, the B site is your default site on both attackers and defenders side. Like, if you have absolutely no idea where to go next, where to play next, or you have no idea where the enemies are gonna go, just play B. And especially, if the B set is weakness of the enemy team, like enemies are just selling it for free, keep going B. Now, secondary priority, A set. Now, what is very important on the attacker side of this map? It is very important that in the first 5 to 7 rounds, you tell your teammates to play together as 5. Basically, we should just be doing 5-man executes and some team play strategies rather than defaulting. Defaulting is the worst shit you can do on Bind in the first 5 to 7 rounds. Because every single choke point works in the favor of defender side players, and only God knows what your stupid solo queue teammates are going to do on this map. So that you're not risking, you know, some kind of shit and losing your allies left and right, tell them what to fucking do! You know, pick up the spike and just tell them where to go. Yell at them like, be a fucking leader. That's it, if you want to rank up. Fuck it, bro. Like, sometimes they're gonna listen, sometimes they're not gonna listen. When they don't listen, just adapt to them, and that is absolutely it. Done. Now, in the first round of Bind, what you push and where you go completely depends on the enemy team composition. If enemies have 1 or more hardcore sentinel, such as Cypher, Deadlock, I don't know, Sage, Killjoy, or something like that, just don't go B. Just do a 5-man push A through the A short area of the map. Tell your controllers to give you a smoke for the truck and for this, and that's it. Now, on bind, proper smoke setups are mega important, very important. And I highly advise you, especially on this map, on the attacker side, every single round, you need to tell your controllers what type of smoke you need at that moment of time for that specific execute. Because if they start giving you some shit, I don't know, some setup like this, some smokes like this, or I don't know what I'm gonna see, we're just fucking cooked. Especially because you're playing chamber. Now, the weakness of your team composition is that we only have one dive. Actually, you have 0. Sorry, so you're on the right side, actually. Like, so you basically have 0 dive duelists, but we have Omen, which can maybe take a space for us. So with this team composition, we will have to play very, very fucking slow. Like, when I say slow, that doesn't mean that we need to default or something like that, but we'll need to pick some of these long-range fights, and we cannot just storm into the bomb site because of our team composition. Now, the weakness of the enemy team comp is almost identical. You know, the only dive agent enemies have is Yoru, and in ranked solo queue, usually that's not enough. But what you really need to be afraid of, yes, in this match is enemies pop flashes. Like, when you're scaling up, when you're taking the fights, you always need to have some kind of a cover for your eyes. Like, especially if you're pushing through the B short, any area of the map, to be honest. Like, we need to be scaling up in a way and pushing in a way where we're consistently dodging the enemy's flashes, baiting our teammates a bit to play anti-flash setup, and then we scale up with them. Like, they can destroy you here, everywhere, essentially. Like, we need to be very, very smart and very careful with our positioning. Now, I just need to ask, what the fuck are we doing in this round? Like, enemies have only Vito as a sentinel. So, Vito, you can just go B, you can go A, it really doesn't matter against the Vito. If Vito is the only enemy sentinel, you can do a 5-man push through A short in the first round, or you can do maybe some kind of a B split or a 4v1 push onto the B side. But I don't know what we're doing. Like, are we doing a fake in a first round in a silver 1 lobby? Good luck with that. Also, if you are the solo sentinel on bind, in the first round you need to get a trademark. So you play first round with a classic pistol, light shield, 2 headhunters, and a trademark. Or you can go for a ghost. Actually, classic pistol, light shield, trademark, and 2 headhunters. And on bind, as a chamber player, you literally have only one job, and that is doing a trademark here. And that's it. Yes, it can be smoked off. There's nothing we can do about it. But that's the only trademark that is basically useful on this map. If you're a secondary sentinel and you already have maybe a Killjoy in your team or Cypher or something like that, like they are putting their utility for the flank, you can just use your trademark as a recon tool on bind. You know, as they're scaling up B long, maybe you can use it like this. Scaling up through the window, you can use it like this to scout for the enemy's right or clear the left side. When you're taking the A-shore control, like, you get the point. We don't need to go deeper than that. Now listen, whenever you and your teammates are peeking the enemies in B long, like, basically, your teammates are in front of you, or that are beside you, are ready to do this. They're ready to swing out and take this fight from this position. From this position. You need to be ready to jump crouch on top of the bench, and from top of the bench, clear the long and swing the long together with them. Like, that is literally your only job in B long. Being ready to take this type of a fight. If you think that you're You want to do this alone, or you want to be the first contact. Okay, then use the teleport here, and then, you know, clear these angles, get up here, take the fight there, and that's it. But letting your gecko swing like this, while you're miles behind him, and we have no idea if any enemies are in the garden, against 3 enemies with pop flashes for a B-long area of the map. God help us. Also, I just need to ask, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing, to be honest, like? Cypher and Omen in B short, in A short. ISO in the teleporter. 2 of you guys long. But tell them what to do. You know, like 80% of... Okay, not 80. I would say that 60% of Valorant players are just autopiloting. They have no fucking idea what they're doing. They don't even want to play the game. You need to tell them what to do. And you need to tell them, like, where to go, what type of strategy to execute, etc. Just on a macro level. Tell them, guys, let's go B this round, or let's go A, because of this, that, and that. Like, especially in low elo. Most of the low elo players are just lost because they don't know what to do. Like, that's why they're low elo. That's why they're silver, bronze, gold, platinum, whatever. Like, they need someone to explain them where the fuck we should go next. And you need to be that someone. And at such a low skill level, you don't need to micro-correct your teammates. You don't need to lead them on a level of Boaster or someone like that. All you need to do is just tell them where to go. And how many players should go, like, I don't know, long, short, or something like that. And just tell your controller what type of a smoke setup you need. On everything else, you can always adapt. Especially if you're playing an agent, such as Chamber. Listen, with Chamber, same as with the Jet. So, when it comes to the teleportability, if there is even a 5% of chance for you to take a fight with enemies, put the motherfucking trademark teleport on the ground, and then swing out and take a fight. Like with a jump spotting mechanic, jiggle peeking, you're taking the info, putting the teleport, and then you're taking the fight with the enemies. If you're swinging in an open area of the map, like this, where the enemies can kill you from the backside, from the right side, from the under the window, elbow, put the teleport, and then you can end up in a position such as this one. Anyways, when you're executing B side of bind, the only teleport we do is basically the teleport here. Like this. So that you can scale up into the elbow, onto the bomb site, onto this position, and that's it. Very, very rarely you're gonna do some shit like this. If the window is already taken and you know nobody's there, you can do this teleport and then scale out with your teammates. And even if you teleport, you're not gonna be sent to Narnia, into the garden, into the enemy smoke. You're still gonna be here, ready to fight the enemies with your allies. And sometimes, what you can do with Chamber's teleport is put it in this corner, if you just want to scale up straight into the site. Like, there's not even a chance that you're gonna go left into the elbow. You just want to reach this position, and from this spot, you're fighting together with your teammates, the enemies that are in the middle of the bomb site and at the back side. Listen, like, if you are... This is okay. I mean, to be honest, like, considering what your Gecko is doing, and where are your teammates right now, it's fine. You have a teleport, like, we should be following this Gecko, no matter what. But, brother, you need to... You know, we need to clear every angle. If you're pushing the site without zero info, where are the enemies? Like, we need to check this. We need to check this. We need to check this. Move in. check this, check that. Like, you cannot not just push, like, without checking the most common position where the enemies can be at that moment of time, such as under the window. Was it a bad idea for you to push with this gecko? Absolutely yes, but, you know, sometimes we need to make these bad plays so that we can actually play a proper retake with our teammates. And with Chamber, like, you know, this is an okay play. Like, I don't know what to say, literally, like, you have a teleport. As long as you don't commit yourself too much to the fight, you can still get out. But if you're scaling up like this without a single smoke, fully overexposed, you need to check everything. Check left, check right, check above, below, like, one angle at a time. No matter how fast this gecko is running, it's better if he dies alone and you don't catch up on him, rather than both of you guys dying because we checked nothing and enemies just killed us in some kind of a crossfire or on timings. Overall, this round was criminal on a macro level. I don't know what we did. We did a 2-man push through B long, 3 people A short in our first round. Like, what? Always remember, like, one very simple rule in Valorant. Basically, in the first round, the attacker side players always have an advantage over the defender side players. That's how, you know, Valorant works and how economy works as well. Like, as long as you play together, as long as you do something together with your teammates, in the first round, attacker side players will always have an advantage over the defender side players in ranked solo queue. The defender side players don't have that much utility or automatic weapons or good guns to successfully stop your execute and push. As long as we do some kind of a strategy or execute that is good for that specific map and for that specific team composition or against that specific team comp that we're playing against. Like, it is criminal in a first round doing some kind of a fake or a hard split, or I just don't know what we did, essentially. Now, on bind, on the attacker side, whenever enemies on defense are eco, halby, bonus, basically they have lower economy than yours. Much lower. They cannot buy a Vandal, Phantoms, and stuff like that. Avoid all of this. You literally don't need it. In silver, bronze, gold, platinum, diamond, you don't need it at all. Just tell your teammates, hey guys, let's do a 5-man push through B long. Tell your controller to smoke window. Tell your controller to smoke CT. And all we need to do is fight for the elbow and the bomb site control. Once we do that, we need to, you know, respect a possibility that enemies could have been in a window, and they can also do this. And based on this possibility, and based on where your teammates are at that moment of time, depends what you should do next. Also, a 5-man push through B long should be like your default strategy, or a 4-1 split on the B side. Should be one of the first default strategies that you try to do on bind, because it is the strategy where your teammates, especially in low elo, cannot make that many mistakes that you cannot correct. You can always fight with them, you can always scale up with them, especially with Chamber. And if enemies push you back, lock you down, we always have a TP to reset the round completely and do something else, something different. Also, when you showcase to the enemies that you like abusing B long a lot, like doing 4-man or 5-man push through B long, in at least one round during your match, you can maybe do a B fake while one of your teammates is taking showers, and then once we fake the B side, we just do a rotation to A side and plant the spike on A. Wait. We lost the round. Okay, sorry. replay system is record this, so they didn't win the last round. Okay, so you have 4 headhunters. Okay, fine. Generally speaking, like if you are on eco hull by round, bonus round on bind, usually the best idea is to tell your teammates to do a 5-man push through 8 short. Like tell your controller to smoke you this and this, and we want to scale up into the lamps and front sight as soon as possible and try to get some kills and some picks. Okay, you need to be a bit faster here. You know, once again, your ISO is pushing this. Take the headhunter out. Be ready for a fight. Your ISO is going there. Go there with him. Fuck it, it's an eco round anyways. And this is why I'm telling you, you need to tell your controllers. And you need to know as well, what is a good and bad smoke setup for every executed round. Like the smokes you're gonna get right now are criminal smokes. Like these smokes are not gonna help you out at all.
I can't use that.
Look at this. During this round, like, if you have like one smoke, how do we smoke backside without this control? If you already okay, our Omen has one smoke. Just tell him to do this. At least we smoke like backside and the showers as well. Okay, we know that. Never mind, that guy's dead. I don't know, like, you know, what's happening for you here, but during this execute, like, you heard the guys killing you from the right side. However, it's so hyper focused on the lamps.
Spike planted.
Listen, let me give you one more tip. In these eco rounds, if you cannot fight the enemies on your own ground, you cannot fight the enemies like with some kind of an advantage. You cannot like your chances of winning a round is very low anyways. Just focus yourself on getting as many kills as possible before you die. Like in a round like this, even if you just kill all 4 enemies, or yeah, 4 out of 5 enemies, and they defuse the spike, that's a win. That's a W for you. So here, for an example, you know, forcing this fight just for the sake of fighting the enemies is stupid. Let the enemies defuse the spike. It's fine, you know? And we should try to maybe get in a position with this stinger where we can maybe get some kills before we die. You know, swinging out here and taking this fight with a stinger, once you saw that 2 enemies are dropping from the tower, and the 2 enemies are, it's just a suicide, and you know it's a suicide, you have a teleport for, you know, a short right here. If you already used this teleport, let's get into this position. Let's wait for the enemies to hit the spike defuse. Let's try to kill that guy. Pick a TP. Now from this position maybe we can take another kill.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. Okay, so already now. Yo, Death. Long time no see. Still playing this mental torture of a game, brother. Like literally, I'm on the edge of ending it all. Okay. So in this third round, essentially you should already have a really good idea, like what are enemies doing on a defender's side, and how are they positioning. So basically, in the first round, we saw that Clove was playing B side, we saw that Vito was playing B. We saw that Yoru and Gecko and KO are playing A side. Like, that is the info that we have from the first 2 rounds. And the info that we could have got based on enemy's utility usage as well. Even if this was not a replay system. So that type of information you really need to gather in the first 4 rounds. Because one of the main mistakes of the players in your elo is that players are way too repetitive. You know, usually what you see in the first 4 rounds is what you can expect for the rest of that game. Or rest of that specific half, at least. So here, you know, what is the best idea to do in this 3rd round? The best idea is to do a 5-man push through B long together. Why? We know that only...
Rise, motherfucker.
Eisen Equilibrium, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub, and thank you for scamming Jeff Bezos, bro. So we know that enemies are playing a bonus round. Because enemies are playing a bonus round, 5-man push is amazing. We also know that there's only 2 enemies defending B side. Vito and Clove. Both of these enemies quite easy to deal with compared to Gecko, KO, and Yoru. So, that should be our callout, and that is what we should do. Should have swapped to Marvel Rivals long ago. Like, Rivals is also kind of boring when you play it alone. Like, I don't think I could have played that game solo ever. Like, gaming is just boring for me these days. Like, I'm getting old and I don't know. I don't enjoy video games at all. I want to do something else in life. Okay, good kill. How is... Your eyes are there? Listen. Let's talk about this, like, B-man area of the map. So in the B-man area of the map, things are very simple. So, if you want to take a fight with the enemies, first, put a TP here, get up here, you know, swing this angle, jump crouch, swing this angle, that's it. If you want to support your teammates that are peeking, clear this angle together with them, jump crouch, swing together with them. If you don't want to take a fight with the enemies here, and none of your teammates are taking a fight, just run to this corner, jumps for the enemies, and save your teleport, either to scale up through the long area of the map, so you can take this space for your team and yourself, or save it for the actual execute. But what are we doing here? And what is this jump spot for? Like, this is mega dangerous, man. Because an enemy, you know, while you're holding the knife here and doing this, basically, an enemy can be on any line here. And you cannot do that. You don't know if an enemy is playing an off angle like this. And when you're doing jump spotting, like, you always want to be as close as possible to the walls. Now, if you're doing jump spotting, like, always just come to the wall from which you want to jump spot the enemies and from which you want to reveal the enemies. Get here. Clear that for your team. Don't lose a single second to scale up and play together with them. And that's it. You don't need to risk it at all. Nothing. Now listen, like a horrible mistake that we're making on Bind is that you're allowing your teammates to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, this map is a heavily defender-sided map. Heavily. You cannot allow your teammates in low elo to go for these solo plays, to basically like do anything alone without you. Like every choke point works in a favor of a defender side players. You will have a lot of these occurrences where your teammates either over-aggress or under-aggress a specific position in a specific area of the map without like you being able to support them. You need, like as I said, you don't need to micromanage them. You don't need to tell them exactly like, you know, Yoru do this TP, like ISO do this specific utility. But if you let them do whatever the hell they wanna do, then you're gonna have a really bad time and a really bad timings as well. Now listen, as I already said, like when it comes to Chamber's teleport, same as with the Just Dash ability, if there is even a 5% of chance for you to fight the enemies, or you know that you're gonna fight the enemies, put that TP down. Basically, same as with the Jet, like every single time when you die, and you didn't use your teleport ability to take a fight with the enemies, you could have done something better. And that is using a teleport, obviously. So, you know, scaling up like this, like out of the smoke, without a TP, going in first with a spike as well, not really the best idea ever in your gameplay. Now, one thing that I can respect in your gameplay is that you're a bit fearless, you know, like especially in the first round, how you went out, what did you do, was actually crazy, you know, like following up that Gecko, and that is a good sign in your overall gameplay. But these type of plays will cost you everything, essentially. You know, especially when your teammates are passive and bad. It's good that you are fearless to do this type of stuff, and Chamber is going to help you with that if you use the TP, of course. But right now, you can also just chill. Like, when you execute, you get stopped somewhere. So in this example, we try to go B. You got smoked off here. Two of your teammates are stuck here. You're with them as well. And you have one ally that was like lurking and doing something alone. Like in low elo, one of the main mistakes the players make is they rotate mega fast. Like already on the first contact between your team and the enemy team, like they're gonna make some kind of a move and some kind of a rotation. And on a map such as Bind, if you have a teammate that is basically lurking on the opposite part of the map, let him work a bit. You know? Let him take maybe a short. See if any enemies are there. If you already position like this at the start of the match, I mean the start of the round, essentially, there is absolutely no reason for you to make any specific play in a 4v4 situation. Especially because enemies are playing a bonus round. They are the ones that are in a disadvantage, not you. And we have the time to just chill a bit. And you should always take that time. Like, the worst thing that you can do in Valorant is making decisions just for the sake of making them. Like, if enemies are giving you time to breathe, to think what you should do, to reassess the situation a bit, give yourself, you know, 4 to 5 seconds to look at the minimap, to look at your allies, to ask yourself, what should be the next move? Because you cannot just enter the site with a spike without using a teleport ability and without having a single info. Where are the enemies on the bomb site? But apparently you can. Still, let me explain something to you. So, at your skill level, basically when you're grinding Valorant as a beginner, and when you're in low elo, like what is really important is that you try to stay away from all of the bad habits as much as you can. Like already at that skill level, you wanna learn, like when it comes to the game knowledge, decision making, and mechanical skill. Like you need to understand what is good, what is bad, and what is optimal, essentially, in a game of Valorant. And you're always trying to replicate and trying to repeat the stuff that is either optimal or, in the worst case scenario, like, good. Sometimes a bad play will work. Sometimes you will have to make a bad play. But 99% of the times, like, you want to play Valorant in a specific way, where, like, we're consistently playing a gambling game of numbers based on a certain factors. So essentially, a play that is bad will always be a bad play. Even if it works sometimes, statistically, it's not gonna work more than a good play or an optimal play in this game. So whenever you do some kind of a shit like this, like, you know, you just walk out and just randomly kill 2-3 enemies while you could have ended up in a very dangerous crossfire, and you have zero info where are the enemies, while your Cypher is lurking through the A short area of the map, this is still a bad play. And even though you won the round and won those 2 fights, that is not something that, you know, that is another thing that you should take a look into when you're self-reviewing yourself in the future on the other maps, and just slow down your gameplay a bit more. You know, especially in that first round. We cannot just enter the site with a spike, with a gecko alone, while 2 of our teammates are A short. Reorganize your teammates a bit. I don't know in which country you're playing and in which region. I mean, if you're playing in Europe, yeah, I mean, Europe is mentally disabled in general, and most of the times your teammates are not going to listen to you, whatever you tell them to do. But you should still try. You know, this is something we discussed during the Discord Q&A, and you need to give it a try at least. But of course, at the end of the day, what's very important is that you understand and learn how to adapt to all of these situations and scenarios. You know, at the end of the day, like, Valorant is just a game of scenarios and sequences.
Spike planted.
But you know, like, just remember one thing. I mean, this is something that's very simple to pick up, and something that you can do for yourself in the future when you're maybe, you know, reviewing your own clips and your own gameplay. Every single round where you end up in a, I don't know, like, in a post plant or retake, or you finish the round and you didn't use your TP ability once, that is almost impossible. Like, it is almost impossible that there was not a single situation during a round where you could have used your TP ability to take the space to engage the enemies or to take a potential fight with them. Also, one more tip, listen. As I said, when you're playing as a secondary sentinel, you really don't need to use your trademark to cover the flanks and cover the lurks. You can just use it as a recon tool to take space or to deny enemies as you're taking space, to deny the enemy's peaks and random timings. Like, especially now, you know, your Cypher cleared the whole A set for you. We know that this KO is either in elbow or in the CT. Like, you should have resetted this trademark a long time ago. As soon as the trademark is not useful for you anymore, like, basically, you know that enemies cannot be there, they cannot be behind you, they cannot flank you, lurk behind you, reset that utility. Because it's going to be useful in one way or another for the retakes, for the post plants, or in some kind of an other scenario. Now, this is very dangerous what you're doing, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, in the post plants, like, just make sure, number one, that you're ready to fight with your teammates on every single angle on which they want to take a fight. And number two, try to reduce being overexposed as much as you can. Like, you should be exposed from maximum 1 or 2 angles that you can see within your sight. Here, the only logical solution for you is to simply hold the elbow. You know that enemies cannot be window. You know that enemies cannot be in the garden as well. You know that enemies cannot be behind you. You have a TP for middle of the bomb site. If your Omen gets a fight with an enemy in the CT, you know, you can instantly get up here, take that fight with him. If the enemy is elbow, we can play an off angle. Here, in the middle of open with a TP, get that guy out of the server, and that's it. Okay, just one tip when it comes to playing Omen in general. Like, whenever you end up with a true numbers advantage, so like 3v1 is a true numbers advantage in Valorant, you want to minimize your utility usage to only what's most necessary. A lot of the players make a mistake where they do some random smokes, default smokes, paranoia, shrouded steps, then use this cage, that... nothing. Like, try to primarily rely on the raw refrag potential and only use the most necessary utility that's gonna definitely help you out at that moment of time. Like, try not to lose the round on the timings while you're using utility. Maybe your teammates are gonna take a fight. Don't block off the vision of your allies in the positions where you can play a stupid crossfire. And don't do anything that is unnecessary. Like in a 3v1, just have the gun in your hands, hold the angles together, hold your hands together, easy kills. I mean, just close out the round. Okay, we now know where's the KO. Later. Okay, not bad. Let me see the economy. Okay. Moment. Okay, now we're back at this VOD review. I took a few days off. I'm Gorgeous Gaming, my brother. I'm really sorry if I sounded a bit angry when I started this VOD review, but a few things happened on stream and I was a bit tilted and, you know, not gaming related, but some other stuff, so I'm not angry at you. You know, I'm not angry at you. You're just a guy trying to improve. If I sounded angry. But now, good charlatan is back. Okay, so we are at round number 3. We won the previous round as far as I remember. Yes, we won. And both teams are playing a full buy. So basically, in this next round, you know, what I will still continue doing 5-man executes. You know, this allowing my teammates to play default, it is bind. And I already explained what are the best strategies on bind. You know? Like how should you play map on a macro level. Like it really doesn't make sense at a silver skill level that you're allowing your teammates to do something alone. Because they will probably fuck it up. So now we can finally do a proper 5-man execute on A short with the proper smoke setups and try to see how that is gonna go. Listen, man, like, I don't know what is this economy management, but get that trip. Get that trip, like, I mean, basically, you know, even if you have Cypher as a Sentinel, as I already said, like, when you play Chamber in a double Sentinel setup, you are your trademark is a recon tool to deny space, to deny peaks, and to reveal the enemies. You know, for an example, right now, we're executing A site of bind. So what you can do, for an example, with Chamber, is we scale up here without using a teleport, nothing. Just jump spot this, you know, scale up into this corner, and then from this position, we put the teleport here or here. You put this teleport when you're scaling towards the lamps, and this teleport when you want to scale to the center of the bomb site. Then, you know, you and your teammates are taking space. We take this initial space, and then with the trademark, like, you don't need to risk getting your anal cavity being fully open by a shotgun in the lamps. And even if your teammates don't want to play with you, you know, they don't want to use any utility to take the lamps, which is a very important map control, part of the map, you can just put a trademark here. You know that enemies cannot be close, and now, bam, bam, the lamps is yours. And one benefit of this teleport is you can scale up all the way here to clear the lamps fully, and now you can play an angle such as this one, you know, stay here, play an off angle, try to kill the enemies. You don't need to give the lamps at all to the enemy team for free. Now let's see what our friend is gonna do and how this is gonna look like. Listen, whenever you're jump spotting the enemies, like, you really want to get closer to the walls. If you're further away from the walls and you do something like this, you're more exposed to the enemies, essentially. I mean, exposed for a longer period of time. Like, it is much better if you jump spot the enemies like this. You know, we don't want to go too wide. Like, your jump spot should end somewhere here. And then with a second jump spot, you can clear that angle. So we can do this to clear these initial corners, and then this. And now we scale up together with our teammates. And why is it very important that, you know, also, like, the mistake when it comes to your jump spot is, like, you saw literally nothing. Like, it's like you never did a jump spot at all. Like, whenever you're jump spotting, you know, on attacker side, you want to see the enemies. You want, the whole point of this is to reveal the enemies. You're probably not gonna bait their shots, especially not in silver and gold, and platinum and diamond and iron. Like, you want, this is a recon tool for you. Because in silver and gold and bronze, like, your teammates are probably not gonna give you a proper utility to clear these angles, to take the space. You know? So basically, like, if you fail the jump spot, or you don't do it properly, usually you won't have time to do a second one. And your teammates are just gonna do this. Meow! With a knife out. With a knife out. My G! Look at him go. Look at this. This is not Eminem. This is like... I don't know what he is, bro, but my dude is crazy. With a sheriff. Also, listen, like, you need to pick up the pacing a bit more. You know, even though you got suppressed here, like, especially at such a low skill level, like in low elo lobbies, in low elo in general, you need to pick up the pacing. Like, we need to like, play with our most aggressive teammates, play that refrag game, and stick to their buttholes. Like, you're always... Okay, when you're playing with your allies, especially on the attacker side, one thing that you always want to ask yourself is, if my teammates pick this fight, any fight, can I take that fight together with them immediately? If the answer is no, probably we should position in a different way. Maybe come a bit closer to play with our allies. Now, please, I'm not going to repeat this ever again during this VOD review. But the only type of teammates that you need to control in ranked solo queue, that you need to micromanage, you need to do this, are your controllers. Like, I don't care if you're a Sentinel main, Chamber main, Jet main, Valet main. You need to know what is a good, bad, and optimal smoke setup for every single executing round. Like, this smoke that your Omen did right now is terrible. Terrible. This smoke we use sometimes for aggressive plays in eco rounds, you know, like, you know, but we're playing a full buy round. Like, this smoke covering the lamps is just mega dangerous. Now enemies can play around it with the shotguns. Enemies can pop flash. They have like three agents with a flash. Like, right now, if we're doing a 4-1 push through the shortened showers, like 4-1, like, your Omen smokes the top of the truck in the middle, gives you this smoke here, and that's it. We fight for the front side control, we fight for the lamps, and Cypher is just lurking alone. That's all you need at this skill level. Now that smoke can pretty much fuck us up, and you will have to clear it with your teleport. Like, taking the lamps control is mega important when you're executing the A set of bind. Go, go, go! Go, 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 go! Also, like, this is also terrible. Like, your teammates are already executing the site. They're close to the choke point. At that moment of time, you need to have a teleport ready to go out with them. Like, you know, if you're going... If you already know that we need to take the lamps, and your ISO is running it down, you need to have this and start running together with the ISO. Take this position while the Molotov is there, and then, you know, together with the ISO, we can swing the KO and take a fight. Basically, with Chamber, every single fight that you take, or in every single fight that you die alone, and you didn't use your teleport at all, you don't need coaching, like, for that. Like, you can instantly mark that as a mistake in your gameplay as a Chamber. Like, this fight cannot be your first fight and a last fight that you fight. And you cannot take such a 50-50 fight without the TP. Like here, already, you know, you did one burst fire. Your crosshair was not on the gecko's head, enemy gecko. TP out, reset yourself, your gecko is gonna swing, and by that time you're gonna have the gun in your hands, and you'll be ready to swing together with him. Now you're relying on this gecko to refrag you, and for your teammates to win this round 3v4. Which they don't do, and they lose it. As I already said, like, I mean, it's kind of stupid that you're playing a double sentinel setup, and your Cypher is not putting the trips for the flank. You know, it's much better if you're using this trip as an aggro tool to distract the enemies, to fuck up their crosshair placement, to clear the angles as you're taking space, especially on bind. On bind, it's so easy. Like, on bind, basically, like, you know, this trademark is mega valuable right here. This trademark is also mega valuable right here to clear to push this guy back and this guy here to clear that angle. You're scaling up, you can use a trademark deep into the elbow smoke so the enemies cannot pop through the smoke, and you take the B-side control. Then you're scaling up through A short. You can put a trademark for the, you know, to clear the lamps. Going through the showers, you put a trademark here. You know that enemies cannot be on the right side, even if you don't have any recon abilities. I mean, this match is gonna go very, very poorly if we don't start getting proper smoke setups for our executes. And if you're not telling your teammates what to do. Now listen, like, we come to that communication topic in Valorant. Yeah, your teammates are not always gonna listen to you. You know, 50% of times they're just gonna ignore you. But you should still try. You know, it's a team play game. You cannot do everything alone most of the time. At least we need to have a good smoke if nothing else. But also, what's very important here is that when you give callouts to your allies at any skill level, like, don't tunnel vision on your callout. Because a lot of times your teammates are not going to do exactly what you told them to do. Pay attention to the minimap, pay attention to your surroundings, and then commit to the callout. Change this jump spotting, we already talked about that. Peeking that angle, or any angles right now, when you already made a sound, is just stupid. Like, get the info for your crosshair placement and your teammates by jump spotting the enemies, and then we just need to clear the left position here. We need to expect that enemies can obviously be there and here. We take this spot for our team, and now with a trademark and smokes and teleport, we can move in and scale onto the site. You need to be a bit faster at destroying these abilities. You know, both Gecko Flash and KO Flash is gonna come with time. Obviously, mechanically, you're still not good. I mean, if you were Mechanical Demon, you would not be Silver, obviously. And maybe, I'm probably gonna give you some kind of an aim training. I mean, definitely, after this VOD review. Like, we need to get a bit better with a lot of different stuff. scale up with this guy. Take the fight. Never mind. And as I already said, like, don't tunnel vision onto the initial plans, like, that you have with your teammates. If you already see that 3 of your teammates are going to B, it's time to tell the Gecko, let's go B as well. And, okay, let's rotate. You know, let's go B. Anyways, by this time, you can expect that most of the enemies, if not all of the enemies, rotated. Like, they scanned you with a knife. They scanned actually all of you, I think. That's it. Time to do something different. Either we cut the noise for 20-30 seconds and we reheat the A site, or we simply reset the round completely and go B. No, we definitely go B. Okay. Okay. This teleport that you did here was mega wasted. I mean, like you really want to use your teleports when you get a contact with the enemies, or if you need to scale up first through these main areas of the maps, or if you're certain that you're gonna get in some kind of a fucked up scenario or fight. You killed one enemy on A, one enemy on B that was lurking behind you, your Gecko is running in front of you, you don't need that teleport. You can use the Gecko as a recon tool to clear the window together with him, and then we can use the TP behind this boxy box here, and now we can play with our teammates from sight and do something with it. But, you know, like, this TP is gonna be useless if we end up fighting with our teammates on sight, and we need to end up fighting with our teammates on sight. Like, already at this moment of time, you need to be ready to drop down and play with your Gecko and your allies. Now, this is also... So what's really terrible here? That your teammates from long are already ending up on the site, and you're still around this smoke. We cannot play so much, you know, pussy style. Pussy style is not gonna work in these lobbies where your teammates are mindless and only God knows, like, you know, what type of fights they're gonna pick. Like, so what is your trigger point for this round to get out of the window? Your trigger point is basically your teammates exiting in this area of the map. When they reach this area of the map, you needed to be ready to do this and take this type of a fight. You have a teleport, you can distract the enemies a bit, go for one tap or one burst fire, TP out, and by you doing just that, you might get a free kill, you might distract the enemies enough for your teammates to end up into the site and take some kills. But, you know, like, chilling here with Gecko and waiting for your teammates from long to die, what are we doing? And also, this is bad as well. Like, I need you to be a bit lighter on your TP ability. Like, if you already see that fight is not working in your favor, you didn't one-tap an enemy, you didn't hit the first burst fire onto that guy, reset yourself, it's okay. The whole point of the teleport is to take space in a safe way. To get that initial duel, where you're maybe gonna deal some damage onto the enemies, reveal the enemies, and prepare for a better second gunfight. I mean, at this skill level, like, you will die in the middle of the teleport 1 out of 10 times. Because players' mechanical skill in your elo is just, you know, far below average. And the higher you go through the lobbies, like, that's gonna happen more, but, you know, we're not even close to high elo lobbies. Okay, we can use the ultimate in this round as a main weapon. And I had hunters. He's speeding it up. Once again, like, you didn't try the absolute best strategy on bind. The best 3 strategies that I presented at the start of this VOD review. If you don't try these strategies, don't rely on defaulting. Now, okay, you want to default on bind. default on bind needs to be meaningful. Like, you need to do it for a purpose of taking one pick with yourself. So what do we know about the enemies so far in this match, based on the previous 5 rounds? Enemies on A are usually playing super passive. I mean, KO that was in the lamps. Enemies on B were also playing very passively. And the only idiot that was peeking every single time is the gecko in the showers. So if that is the real info that you have for 5 rounds in a row, it is time to put a TP on the showers, wait for the gecko to peek, and get him out of the server. Like, defaulting is only good, like, if nothing else fails. If everything else fails, sorry. If not a single strategy worked. Or if you have a really good idea how we can get some picks, you know, in certain areas of the map, and then reset the round, and with that advantage do something. Okay? Don't do this, don't do this. If you want to engage the enemies early on, in the belong area of the map, like, put the teleport immediately somewhere here, and then do this, jump crouch on top of the wall, and then clear the rest of the belong from top of the ledge, right here, from top of the bench, wall, whatever. Like, there is no way that any players are gonna have a good crosshair placement for you in the lobbies below Immortal. Like, nobody is gonna have a good crosshair placement. You can just pre-aim this position, be ready for that fight, and just do micro corrections if you see enemies on some kind of an off angle. This peek is something that you should never do. Like, there is absolutely no reason to do it if the gods of Valorant already gave you the wall behind you. Good kill though, but the same thing you could have done in the showers against the gecko. And this is why I'm so much against the defaulting on bind, especially at the low skill levels. It just doesn't work. Like, you can sometimes get 2 picks alone, get 2 kills somewhere, and there is still a good 60% of chance that your teammates are just gonna die, all of them somewhere, on the other parts of the map. Like, it is so hard to default at such a low elo, and it's not something I would recommend you to do ever. On bind, at least. Unless you have a really good idea where you can get the picks, and tell your teammates just to play passively. Tell them, guys, don't do anything. I'm gonna take a frag. Stay in the spawn. Stay in the spawn, I don't know. And then reset the round. No, very good reset from your side, like, you know, good reset of the teleport. You're going towards your spike carrier. Very good. Now, as I already said, like, when you're scaling up onto the A site, take the lamps. No matter what. We need the lamps control. We need the lamps. We need the lamps. You should have been there with the gecko, fighting that Yoru in the lamps. We just need lamps. Period. If our teammates are already getting in front of the site, and we have this front side control, when you have the lamps, the rounds are just 10 times easier. You can apply enormous amount of pressure from the lamps. You can play some crossfires with your allies. You need it. Now, I don't know what you're doing, but you should be getting ready for a post plant. Enemies don't have the smokes. They cannot cross your trip from behind. So what you should be doing right now, play with the gecko around the lamps. You know, like, you can take more space from the enemy team right now. For an example, the setup that we can do here, if you save your teleport, of course, is we can put the TP up here. Oh, we went into the actual teleporter. Put the TP up there. And now, like, you know, we can hold the CT, for an example. Hold this angle, try to get a kill, bam. Then, enemies are backside, bam. Tower, bam. Drop down, tower, bam. Not obvious seeing lamps, like... the thing is, like, so many teams in low elo, between Iron 1 and Diamond 3, they just don't understand how much value this represents on a attacker side of bind. at that skill level. Like basically that is half of, like 80% of your job when you're executing A set of bind. 80%. I see a lot of players, you know, they just get stoned here. They just stop there, or God forbid, like, you know, players scale up like this. They get behind this. This is the worst spot where it can be, as you're executing A set of bind. You know, your only job is to get in this position. And now we scale in. How to handle teammates that are played too passive without going first and dying with no use? On attacker side, if your whole team is playing passively, you have only two options. You can try to play their style. You can try to play as passive as they're playing and see if enemies are gonna make some mistakes. It's okay. You know, it's okay. We can try that. Second thing is, if your teammates are just doing absolutely nothing, then your only focus and your full focus should be on the enemy team. Like, you need to ask yourself, can I lurk somewhere? Can I flank somewhere? Can I somehow use my teammates in any way? Can I get some solo pick for my team somewhere? Like, maybe you see that, I don't know, on the B set of, in the B long of bind, there is a 0-10 KO that is playing there every round. Let's try to abuse that guy. That guy is already shit. You know? Just, you need to analyze more weaknesses of the enemies rather than focusing on what your teammates are doing in those type of matches. Because if they're super passive, like, probably they're doing nothing. Like, I don't know why, you know, we're playing here in a post plant when, like, there's so many better angles and positions, but okay. The thing is, like, when you're playing post plants in Valorant, you usually want to have the same mindset as when you're playing on the defender side. And what is that mindset? I want to abuse as many angles as possible. Off angles, tight angles, small fights, before I end up in a 50-50 fight. Before I end up in this position, where maybe I need to take a fight with the enemies. Because my teammates are dying and enemies are flooding in. And you want to deny the space of the enemy team. Like, why don't we just hold this angle and try to get a kill there with a TP? It's just stupid. Or, you know, Corrode is one of the maps where people make the most mistakes on the B site. Every fucking team on Corrode just takes the site and they never fight for the elbow and tower. Like, literally, site doesn't matter on Corrode. Like, you just take the site to plant the spike. But what is very important on the B set of Corrode on the attack is that you take the full control of the elbow and tower. When you have elbow and tower and main, plus sight, enemies are fucked. Literally fucked. Like in this Corrode game that I just played right now, I never went elbow and CT because my teammates were doing that for me. I always had someone aggro here, and that is such a good play. Because I know that enemies can only come through this small choke point. It's impossible playing retake through here. Impossible. That is why during the retakes, I mainly prioritize spawn, for an example. On bind, same principle, same shit. Any map. At least we have a TP, but man, you're at your skill level, you really want to abuse the off angles and as much as you can. And you will never see anyone pre-aiming this position below Ascendant, to be honest. I don't know, like whenever I did any series from I don't want to Radiant, I start dying on this position and maybe dying at maybe Immortal 2, Immortal 3. Until then, I never saw anyone pre-aim this spot in their properly in their life. In my life, actually. I don't know why you have a crosshair placement for the Keotos, but it's a robot, bro. Like, I mean, maybe he's into that shit. You never know. Robotic foot job. At least he's not aiming at his head. You know, at least we have a solid crosshair placement for this. Okay, we know that Vito is in the lamps. Okay, listen. I already talked about this at the start. Your awareness is 0, which is normal. You know, it's absolutely normal for a silver player, like, to have this level of awareness, but we need to work on it. There is like 5 to 6 different trainings that can speed up your process of being more aware in Valorant, checking minimap more, checking what your teammates are doing, and generally being aware of where enemies can be and stuff like that. Maybe I'm gonna share one training with you, and I need to make a YouTube video for that. Like, I don't know why I never made a video about that, like, in my life. Now listen, like, never mind. This would be a bad tip. Guys, how to have fun with Valorant when you already have done everything in this game except being Radiant? Huh? You didn't do everything. Time to get Radiant. Bro, I actually... I would love if I never was Radiant in this game, to be honest. Then I would have such a competitive drive to play this game 24/7. Like, if I were just coaching for the last 5 years and I only got Immortal, literally I don't know how people don't have that competitive, like, it's so addicting, man. In every video game. Also, another thing you could have done in this round, I mean, like, if you already know you're gonna win this round, 3v1, pick up some guns. We don't have the guns now for the next round. Why do we lose 2,900 credits for nothing? Think about that as well. Like, Chamber is like an economy minister of Valorant, same as Jet. Like, those are the economy minister, like, agents. Agents that can save... agents with which every round you play some kind of a full buy, basically. You know, in every round you're useful. So, if you already have an option to pick up the gun and not waste the credits, like, do it. Okay. Now, when you're deciding what to execute and where to go, you should also take in account the enemy's ultimate status. Like, now, maybe going A is not... pardon me. Going B, maybe not the best idea because of the Vitos ultimate, but to be honest, it doesn't even matter. It's not that important. You know, it's just a fucking Reyna ultimate that is a bit better, I guess. But what's kind of criminal in this match is that you're not abusing B side. Vito and Clove are defending B in this match. We know that based on the previous rounds. I'm not even checking it. I don't care about the minimap. I hate having replay system, man. Like, record that. Like, don't do that shit anymore. Like, it is so stupid. I never hindsight. I don't like that shit, bro. I'll tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. How can Vito and Clove defend the B side? It's literally impossible. It's so hard. Especially if you prioritize executes through the B long. And less mistakes that your teammates can make. Also, another thing when you're analyzing the enemy's weaknesses and where should you lead your team, is you can also use the scoreboard as well. You know? Like, for example, KO, Yoru, and Gecko are not really having the best games of their lives, while Vito and Clove are actually popping off. And are objectively harder enemies to fight. That is another thing you can use to lead your teammates as well. So now, okay, we can go A. Based on this. Not based on what happened in the previous rounds. Usually like in low elo, if you see that one enemy is underperforming, just make his day even worse. Make it a living hell. Because that guy is probably not in his right mind. You need to start a bit faster with your teammates. Like, why do you have such a huge gap between Iso and yourself? Play with the guy. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. He's going in with ultimate. He's gonna pick one guy. Ooh, very good. Who's next? Hopefully not us. That teleport we cannot use at all.
Spike planted.
Eh, You see this shit. Like now, if you had a trademark, we would know that KO is there. And we would demolish that KO. That is why I just don't understand, like, when you have a Cypher in your team, why even bother, like, putting the trip for the flank? Tell the Cypher to put the trips, you know, bop, like, trips here. Like, he can have one trip for just a moment, where's Cypher? Like, one trip here, done. Done. Fuck it, you know? Yo, Miguel Jackson, how are you doing, man? Huh? Who is this Zexy guy? Zexy, you know? Do you see the new Harbor rework stuff? The new... Wait! Is there a Harbor rework? Are there leaks? We need to react on that shit later. Not another step. Yeah, it's very good that you're not pushing this. Like, to be honest, like, I would not push this as well. We planted the spike. We know that KO is the A player. And you really don't want to push the lamps without any utility. Because Charlatan is gonna wait there with a judge. Oh, it's in the files. Tidal wave as X. Tidal wave as X. And splash grenade as C. I don't understand. So he has same abilities, but just in different order. I remember when I was Silver watching your videos years ago. Well, we're still here. We're still here. Listen. Be light. Be light on that teleport ability. You know? If a KO with a judge is running you down from the lamps, and he just killed your gecko, reset yourself. It's okay. We planted the spike. Gecko dies. We're still 4v3. We can still win this round together. As we just need to fight together. And you need to stay alive. Like, even considering to take this type of a fight is a suicide. Like, you're probably gonna die as a silver player. Like, it's highly unlikely that you're gonna have a reaction time and mechanics to kill this KO with a judge. Thankfully, we still win the round, but, you know. Going A again. Now, in this round, I would definitely go B. Definitely. KO has the ultimate. You know? Like, he can deal or execute for, like, a lot with his utility, with a molly, ultimate, and knife. You know that KO is the A player. He played A, I don't know, 6 out of 7 rounds. Let's go B. Also, please, if you have a teammate in your team that is lurking every round, but his lurks are literally giving us nothing. The lurks are giving us a mental cancer. It is maybe the time to tell that flanker, lurker, whatever, to play with us. Cypher didn't get a single pick by lurking and flanking in any round. And Cypher is a very useful agent for the executes. Like, when should you lurk and flank in Valorant? When you see an opportunity to do that. You know, you can abuse some kind of a mistake from the enemy team if they're rotating super fast or over-aggressing. Or if the team play is not working. But if you don't find a success lurking and flanking for 3 rounds, basically you cannot flank and lurk and play alone without any info. And Cypher is still a great character for executes. 2 smokes. Camera to reveal the enemies and bait their shots out. He's an amazing agent on the attacker's side. That's why I rank up Cypher so high above other sentinels. TP. Okay, good. Now this push was definitely a bit of a suicidal push, considering we didn't have any smokes or anything, but if your eyes don't want to do this and you have this teammate, sure, not bad. Finally, we have lamps. Now what do? We just follow this guy. You follow your most aggressive teammate that has the highest chances of dying 24/7. Instead of looking him die, you should be ready to swing together with him. Or after he dies. Like, the whole reason why I take this position is to try to kill the enemies from the lamps when they get distracted by your teammates. Not to look at the minimap and watch them die. Now we need to make some kind of a move. But it's too late. This can still work. This can still work. Okay. You know that Vito is there. You hurt him. Very good reset. Okay. Now, these 1v1s is where people make so many mistakes. You need to play with enemy's mind when you already have info about them. So we have 54 seconds to win this round, to plant the spike. Let this guy overthink the round and play with him. Like, we don't know if Vito is in the lamps. We don't know if Vito is backside. As a matter of fact, I don't give a fuck where he is. But in low elo lobbies, players are usually gonna stay with the spike when the spike is dropped. And they're gonna hold it. So now, instead of going through an area of the map where enemies already know you're gonna go through there and that you are there, reset yourself. Reset the teleport, reset the trademark. We don't need trademark anymore. I mean, we're 1v1. We don't need it for any flanks and lurks. So what we should do right now is simply pick up all of our abilities, bop, bop, go in the showers. And from the showers, we're trying to pick a timing to surprise this monkey. And with a trademark, we can cover certain positions through which, like, Vito can backstab us. We can clear the showers. We have time for that. We can clear the backside. We can clear this position, tower, this position, everything. Then we can clear the lamps properly. Then move in, check the backside. You know? Check this. Once you check all of this, Vito is either B short, here, or in the lamps. Get into the lamps, check the lamps, and once you check the lamps and the front side, that's it. You know that he is either on tower or here. We can put a trademark for this to reveal him on the left side and right side, pick up the spike, plant the spike open, the round is yours. Now the second option with a chamber TP is, of course, like, you can run towards the spike, pick it up, teleport, and use the TP to go B, but I don't know, like, if that's gonna work. Okay, he actually knows that he's there, like, he probably heard a footstep, I don't know, like, replay system is weird. Now one thing that's really good here, intentionally or not, is that he is waiting for his teleport to reset. There's no reason to peek through this smoke. We have 40 seconds. Just chill. Relax. You have plenty of time. Holy shit. You guys... Telekinesis, man. Telekinetic powers, bro. Here you need to start running because, like, you know, he cannot hear you anywhere. Like, if he was lamps in the backside, but there's no way that he's in the showers right now. We need to run here, and now from this position, we can start walking. Like, you lost like 3 seconds, 4 seconds by walking to this spot. Now, you needed to clear all of these angles and take your time for that, because, yeah, we don't really know where's the Vito. And, you know, that's the problem that we have to deal with anyways. Good play. Just, the problem is, like, he wasted a lot of time in the A short area of the map. The angle clearing here could have been much better, because objectively we don't know where is the Vito. He can be anywhere. And if we clear these angles properly, and we started doing this play immediately as we kill the Clove, this is the round that he wins. But I love it. I love it that he Like, it's always a good sign when the player has this type of a mindset. When the player is not rushing out like a monkey and just trying to pick every fight immediately. Like, a good play is always a good play. No matter if it works or not. A bad play is always a bad play. So even though this play didn't work for him, this is a mega good sign for his future. Just a moment. Let's continuage. Okay, round number 9. We already talked about this, like if your teammates are running like this, go run with them. Play with them, come on, come on. You cannot allow them to pick these angles without you. You cannot have this type of a distance between you and your most aggressive teammate. We need to run faster. You should already be with the Gecko, clearing the angle that he is clearing at that moment of time. Speed up a bit. Speed up a bit on the attacker's side. You need to do that. Once again, if you had a trademark, we could use it for various different, in various different ways. Like, imagine you had a trademark right now, instead of putting it behind you. Brother, you can literally, we're scaling up, like this. We can use the trademark to reveal the enemies in the middle of the site. And now we know that they can either be here or here. Or, as you scale up into this position, we can put the trademark basically for the window push. One problem with this execute is the smoke setup once again. Like, basically, you need to control your controllers, like, based on what type of exit you're doing. Like, doing a 4-man push through elbow without a smoke in the window. Belong, sorry. Without a smoke for the window. That's a bit of a Sudoku play. Thankfully, like, enemies are playing passively here and, no one is window, but you cannot risk that shit. Pigeon got a kill, man, huh? Pigeon is supporting us. Overseer, man. Overseer. Now, listen. One tip I will give you for bind is that mainly focus yourself on fighting enemies on sight. Like, first, take the full site control with your teammates, and then worry about the elbow. Especially if you already have a teammate in elbow. You don't need to be there. Right now, you should be with your Gecko, taking the side control. And anyways, your teleport is here as well. I don't know, like, if you already have a teammate that is going behind the enemies and taking the elbow, like, you don't need to fight for this. We should be fighting with teammates that are definitely gonna fight the enemies right now. The number one tip in Valorant. Okay, not number one. There's a lot of number one tips. But always play on the information that you have. Don't try to make up some imaginary scenarios in your head. Or imaginary, like, scenarios and sequences. If you already know that there's like 1, 2, 3 enemies on the site, and you don't know if anyone is like window or elbow, focus on fighting with your teammates that are definitely gonna get in a fight at that moment of time. Especially if you have numbers advantage. This play is probably gonna work. Probably. I don't know. But we could have won this round already. Without any risks taken. A first kill from our Cypher on the flank.
Spike down B.
I have them.
Last player standing.
Too risky for no reason. Of a round. Okay, Keo has ultimate still. I guess the guy is not a fan of ulting. I mean, that knife is so easy to destroy, but okay. I guess we're also not the fans of destroying the utility. It's okay that you fought here without the teleport ability because your eyes is already fighting. We might as well fight with him. But God, man, like our Cypher is so useless this whole match. Like if you have a teammate that is doing this every round, and he's not finding a single pick anywhere, you need to recorrect that guy. Tell him to play together with your team. Like the guy did nothing for 9 rounds, literally nothing. You know what I would recommend you to focus on a bit more on the attacker side. Try to focus more on what your teammates are doing, rather than focusing on where are the enemies and you know, fighting the enemies. Because Bind is really a team play map. You know, like you need to be ready to play with your allies, to go out with your allies, to swing with your teammates. Like focus on their like movement, positioning, and utility usage. Because in low elo, like as long as you play with your allies, as long as we fight together, I mean, like this guy's mechanical skill is not good enough to kill 4 enemies that are flooding the site. Once we have the lamps. Yeah, whenever you take the lamps control, like overextend a bit, not too much, but you want to get some kind of an off angle right here on the right side. Okay, we don't know where's the Vito. I don't know if he teleported. Maybe we heard the teleport, maybe not. Now we know where he is, definitely. Okay, okay. I need to ask, like, what is this trademark for? What is this for? First of all, it doesn't cover the showers completely. There is a gap on the right side. And second of all, yeah. Okay. When is the last time enemies pushed behind you through the showers? And they actually do it in this round. Like, my guy is cheating, bro. My guy is cheating. Yeshua Obi! What rank is this? Silver 1. Are we gonna... Yo, man, I'm gonna get cancer from these smoke setups. I'm gonna get cancer from these smoke setups. I stopped smoking, but... like, you need to tell your teammates what to do. Like, you cannot push this side with this. Les said that back then he did 60 DMs a day. And said if you want to improve, it helps a lot to do so, but what's your opinion on it? I think that's an insane... no, but I like, you know... literally... okay, let me give you my... I mean, I'm gonna tell you what works for the players that I coach. And what works based on my coaching. Like, yes, you should be aim training every single day. Doing something for your mechanics. It's very important that you have a good warm-up. Like some 20-30 minutes warm-up that you do every single day. That can also be your aim training as well. You can also do death matches and some aim training in between the matches as well. But your aim training can never, or any type of training, can never be larger or bigger than the amount of games that you play. Do you know what is 6 death matches per day? An average player has like maybe 3 hours to play Valorant every single day. 3 hours max, usually. And out of these 3 hours, like what? You're gonna play 2 hours of deathmatch and play 1 ranked match? And do nothing else? It's just stupid. And even 60 death matches, like, it's just... you know, too much of a wasted time for an average player that doesn't understand how to play the game, that doesn't understand, like, the basic concepts and fundamentals of Valorant. 60 DMs is like what? Like, is that around 5 hours of deathmatching like every day? That's crazy. And also, deathmatch is not the only thing you should do. At least an average player should not be doing only deathmatches. There's a lot of practice range tasks that are really good. Playing team deathmatch in a certain way. Playing deathmatch in a certain way. Aim labs, Kovacs. Like, you should be doing everything. And using everything that God has given you to get better at this game. The main problem for players that are below Immortal 1 is very rarely their mechanical skill. Very rarely. The bigger problem is like their overall understanding of the game. Like, how should they play Valorant? At a certain skill level, at a certain rank. Utility usage, cheesy strategies, game sense, awareness. And you don't fix that by spamming deathmatch only. And also, you cannot fix every mechanical problem only with deathmatch. You know, Les became a pro player in Valorant really fast. The guy was already destined to be a pro player. You know, those type of players like are mostly talented. Already, on top of the hard work that they're doing. An average player in Valorant is usually not talented. And he needs to figure out different ways and different solutions to get in Radiant. And Radiant is your first step. Even if you want to be a pro player. And yeah, like, probably less mechanical skill was already like, you know, pretty insane even without any death matches. Like, very rarely in Valorant, like, a player can get to Radiant only based on his mechanical skill. That happens like in 0.0001% scenarios. Like, that's maybe on every 100,000 players that get Radiant, there's maybe like 1,000 players that will get there, or maybe 100, purely because they're mechanically, well, no, they're mechanically just gods. Now listen, my friend, like, if you already end up here, check the lamps for your teammates, and just be ready to fight with them. One thing I don't understand here is, you know that KO is on the site. You know that Vito is in the showers. Yoru probably rotated already. We can just rotate on B with the TP and go B together as 4. Another thing I don't understand is, why are you here? You don't have a teleport. You're getting suppressed by the KO. All you need to do right now is relax. Stay at the lamps and be ready to fight with your teammates from the lamps. Anyways, from this position here, you can almost take every single fight that your teammates take from the site and from the short. You know? You can fight enemies here, fight enemies there, fight enemies there, fight enemies tower. You don't need to go in such a bad overexposed position where you can easily get pop flashed or double peeked, triple peeked, I don't know. I really hope he's gonna use a TP now, because if you don't teleport out of this scenario, TP out. God gave you a teleport on chamber. You're reloading a weapon. The guy is swinging you. When are you gonna TP if not now? You know? And the final round on the A-Taker side. Yo, Accelerate, we'll see, man. I still use your Ultimate Aimlet playlist. It is a bit outdated, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have... basically, I made that video like 2 or 3 years ago, right? In the last 2 and 3 years, I made 50 aim trainings that are fucking amazing. It's a bit sad that I'm not the one using them, but my people that I coach. Like, I don't have time to aim train, but literally that is like a bit outdated, but it's still okay. You can still use it for Valorant, like, it's not a problem. Also Loud counts in. Once said he thinks it's way more important to focus on outside life instead of aim training daily. And you will become better fast as well. What you think about that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, basically, what are all the skill sets that you need to be a consistent Radiant player and to become a professional as well? Game knowledge. You work on game knowledge not only while you play ranked matches. You work on it outside of ranked matches. Then, decision making. You work on your decision making mostly out of the game, not in the game. Mechanical skill. You work on it inside of Valorant and aim trainers. Then we have team play, ranked team play, and general team play. Once again, that's 50-50. You work on it inside of the game, but also outside of the game. Then we have mentality. That is not something that you work on in-game. Outside factors impact your mentality. Attitude, you don't work on attitude inside of the game. You work on it outside of the game. Communication, both in and out of the game. Adaptiveness, in and out of the game. Like, daily habits matter a lot. A lot. And what type of training, how you're investing your time. And also, you know, taking care of your, like, you will see that every professional team, they have a lot of staff. Like, it's not only a coach, head coach, analyst, like, there's a fucking chef, you know? There's a personal trainer in every team. Most of the teams are doing a lot of team bonding, team building, going to the gym, every single player. Even if they're fat, you know, even people like Ardis, he was probably forced to do something like to get a bit more healthy while he was playing in Navi and those like teams. Like, mental health plays a huge part, and general health as well, like in becoming better. Like, for example, in the last year, I really didn't take care of my body at all. At all. Like, very rarely I went to the gym. I go to sleep very late because of coaching. And all of that impacted on my reaction time and focus a lot. A lot. Like, just in a year, I stopped hitting some shots that I was hitting 10 out of 10 times a year ago. So yeah, I mean, like, it's very important. I know, of course, like, if you don't have your outside life sorted, playing a Valorant is not going to help you out at all. At all. If you're feeling depressed, you don't want to play Valorant. You want to do something else. If you're feeling bad, you don't want to play Valorant. It's not going to make your day better. You want to work on what the fuck is bad in your life, and whether or not you can control it. What are your views on Voltaic Vukugen playlist? It's okay. You can use it. It's fine. Listen. A lot of the times in your gameplay, you decide to hold some angles and play alone where it really doesn't make any sense. When did the enemy speak you from B short? Like, why are you consistently trying to play on the information that you don't have when you can play on the info that you have? Like, what is one of the biggest mistakes of the players in low elo? And why is it so easy to get out from Iron 1 to Diamond to Ascendant 1? Players are way too repetitive. Their playbooks, their depth of gameplay is mega readable. Especially the players that are in between Gold 1 and Diamond 3. Those players, Gold 1 and Ascendant 3. Those players are so easy to read. They autopilot a lot. They autopilot towards their default gameplays a lot. They don't know how to adapt, mostly. So in round number 12 on the attacker side, you're holding a push that enemies did once 8 rounds ago. Just a waste of time. No, Femfrix, like, brother, I feel you there. I feel you there, absolutely. Like, you cannot believe, like, in the last 1 year, I coached a lot of players. A lot of players. And for all of them, reaching Immortal 3 is like a piece of cake. Like, I would say that 90% of the... Definitely 90% of them reached Immortal 2 or Immortal 3. But then, when they get to Immortal 3, they have such a terrible MMR that if you're not playing Valorant 24/7, you don't have a good duo queue with yourself, and you don't take it seriously, you don't grind smart, it is so hard to go from Immortal 3 to Radiant. Because so many accounts have a boosted MMR from previous sects. If you're getting minus 20 for a loss and plus 10 for a win, it's pain in the ass. Basically, what I usually recommend players, you know, I coach someone, let's say from Diamond to Immortal 3. He goes from Diamond to Immortal 3. If you don't have time to play Valorant like, you know, 10 hours per day, you need to look in a long run, and you cannot focus on short-term achievements. So what do I mean by that? So basically, I coach a player, like this happened recently. I coached a player from Platinum 1 to Immortal 3. He went from P1 to Immortal 3 in around 4 months time period. Now, in Immortal 3, he is losing minus 22, something like that, and winning around plus 14, for an example. That's insane. You need to have like 70% win rate and above across 100 games in order to get Radiant. So you need to win 70 matches and lose only 30 to get Radiant from Immortal 3, which is insanity. Now, what is a good approach when your account's MMR gets fucked? One thing that you can do, you can get a duo queue that is higher elo than you. You know, if you have a Radiant friend, if you duo queue with him, you will get better rank rating gains. Now, a lot of players don't have a Radiant friend, obviously. So, the type of approach that I recommend to players like that is focus on getting Radiant in a span of 1 episode, 6 months, instead of trying to get Radiant in a matter of 1 act. So what they do is, if they're, let's say, Immortal 3, 200 rank rating, I'm just forcing the players to push their rank rating for 100. So 1 act, you know, you got Immortal 3 in Act 3 of episode whatever. Now, in next episode, Act 1, your job is to get to 300 rank rating. And that is your only job. Once you get there, you stop playing Valorant on the main account. And you go on to the alt. Then your MMR is going to be a bit higher and better for the Act 2. Then in Act 2, your only job is to go from that 300 point to 400 rank rating. Basically, to go from Immortal 1, 30 rank rating to 400 rank rating. You get there, you stop. You don't play on that account anymore until Act 3. And then maybe in Act 3, you will have better chances to get to Radiant. But what people do is like, they spam like, they play 200 hours of Valorant per act, and they're just mindlessly spamming the games, trying to get Radiant with a bad MMR. And that's not gonna work. Like, if you're losing 25 and winning only 12, it's like, for an average player, 60% win rate is achievable. Like, everyone can have 60% win rate if you play good and play smart. But 70% solo queue is, I don't know, you need to be a demon. Like, even all of these, like, you'll never see a streamer, even a professional player, or a Radiant player, having 70% win rate solo. It is literally impossible. Not because, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. You'll have teammates that troll, teammates that leave the games. Unbalanced matchmaking. You will have 3 teammates in a wheelchair, you know? And they're gliding in the wheelchair, basically, while like, enemies are driving a fucking Ferrari. So, you need to be smart about it. Like, basically, this year, I mean, this is a really good stat, but it's not as good as previous years, to be honest. Like, this year, out of all of the players that I coached, only 5 got Radiant. Only 5. I mean, that is still good considering like how fucked the MMR is in the game. And basically how bad the solo queue environment was. But in the previous years, basically let's say 2023, every year I had at least 20 to 30 players getting Radiant from my coaching. 20 to 30. I mean, I don't coach thousands of players per year like that. I don't know, I usually coach in the last 3 years, I don't know the exact numbers, but the whole point is like now the grind needs to be slower because of MMR inflation, rank rating inflation, and if you don't have a good duo queue partner, smart grind is more important than brute forcing. Brute forcing is usually never gonna work in the current environment. And by the way, the game didn't change at all. Like, we're still playing the same Valorant from 2022, basically. The same balancing meta, everything, like. Now, you know, like, we just got more agents. Now, I don't know what was your game plan for this round. Very good game plan, to be honest. I'm gonna let my teammates win the round for me. But that game plan is not always gonna work. Instead of wasting your time here, what you should have done? Go with your teammates through, like, through long. And that's it.
Spike planted.
Brother, like, Cypher lurked 12 rounds in a row on an attacker's side. There was not a single round where he did something useful. A single pick, a single opening, a single space taken for 12 rounds in a row. If you are this type of a guy, especially in low elo, you deserve to be stuck. You deserve to be where you are. I mean, you literally heard the KO behind you using a flash. Maybe we can focus on that guy.
Last player standing.
I need to ask, what is KO doing, like, on the minimap? Spike is planted. Okay, I mean, this is GG. Alright, doesn't matter. Okay, overall, a pretty bad attacker side, I'm not gonna lie. It could have been worse. You know, it could have been worse. Like, there are some scenarios where you made a right play, good decision. But overall, like, you need to fix these little gaps that we talked about right now. Okay. Anyways, you're gonna get some kind of a training for all of this. Don't worry. Okay, now we are on a defender side of Binderoni. So, first of all, on Bind. B site is your default site, numero uno priority. A site, number 2 priority. Now, Bind should be a slow rotation map for you. Basically, after the round number 5, you need to be very careful when and how you rotate. Like, basically, you need to rotate based on some kind of an information. You cannot do fast rotations anymore, and you need to adapt yourself based on what enemies did in the first 4 rounds. But in the first 4 rounds, especially in low elo, feel free to rotate immediately. As soon as your teammates make a contact with the enemy somewhere, and you're 90% certain that enemies will go there, just rotate. Fuck, especially the first round. Now, on Bind, what is very important on a defender side, especially as a chamber player, is that you're not playing too passively. Like, that is the number 1 mistake you can make. Basically, playing behind these yellow lines. Well, actually, that's not really not a good line. Like, behind these yellow lines. So basically, like, if you play behind these yellow lines, and it is not part of some kind of a grandioso strategy, then we are absolutely cooked on this map. You need to get the early info for your teammates. Every single choke point works in a favor of a defender side players, and not abusing the Chamber's teleport to get some early picks is crime against humanity. So, next topic. When it comes to playing Chamber in the first round of Bind, you'll always start on the B site. Now, if you're a secondary sentinel, you know, both of you guys can play B set, basically. You know, let the Cypher put his whole setup, and instead of you wasting money for a trademark, what we can go for is a classic light shield shorty strategy. So basically, you drop a shorty here, put a TP on top of the shorty, light shield, classic 1 headhunter. With that, you start in the window, right here, in the hookah, and you're holding this angle right here. You hold it as tight as your reaction time allows you. We're trying only to hit 1 headshot or 2 bullets like this, and to reposition towards the teleport. Then, at the teleport, you're holding this off angle to try to get 1 more pick. Bam! You're teleporting on top of the shorty. Resetting both of your abilities, picking up the shorty, and waiting for the enemies on the right side. Now, there is one key note for this area of the map. If you don't know if the first contact with the enemies is gonna be left or right, always hold the left side. Why? 80% of times, players will have more confidence to push you from the left side because they're less exposed, less overexposed from multiple different angles. So if you need to gamble, if you want to hold this or this, just hold this. Unless you hear the enemy's footsteps, of course. Then we get an easy kill with a shorty, bop bop, classic pistol, and maybe we can get away with 2, 3, 4 kills depending how precise you are with all of this. If enemies are going A, instantly teleport, reset the teleport, stay with the classic pistol, and go on to the retake. When you're retaking the A site, we're gonna talk about that if we end up in that specific situation. So, let's see what our friend is gonna do in this first round. Just a second, that's not the first round. So listen, the reason why I defend the B site in the first round is very simple. B site retakes of bind in the first round are the hardest mother effing retakes that you can play in Valorant. Literally the hardest. Like, the map design, the design of the B site is so fucked up that, that an average success rate of the B retake in the first round is below 20%. A is 50-50. A is 50-50, but B site, especially in low elo, the lower you go in the ranks, the harder it becomes. So, you know, good luck now. Now, if you already decide to play A set for some unknown reason, I don't know what is that reason, once again, you can play classic shorty strategy. Basically, like, you can put your teleport here, you can put the shorty here, and with a classic pistol and headhunter, you can start in A short. We can jump spot the enemies here, do this, then with the headhunter, try to kill 1 enemy, destroy the enemy's recon abilities and utility with a classic, pick up the shorty, and shove it into the enemy's anal cavity. Switch to the classic pistol, teleport away, reset the teleport, and support your teammates moving forward. I just don't know, are we gonna buy anything this round? Are we playing the strategy, actually? Where is the shorty? Listen, you cannot put the TP there because it is too close to the lamps and way too overexposed from the backset as well. Like here, for an example, yes, you are also overexposed, but very, very rarely like enemies are gonna push that deep here to take this type of a fight. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, you can just put this teleport. Literally doesn't matter, like, just put it here. Anyways, you're not gonna be over-aggressing the enemies, you know, past this line. And we can just deal with it later. So, that is what we should do in the first round, and that is how this classic shorty strategy should look like. Like, this strategy, if the enemies are pushing your site, should work for you 10 out of 10 times. Like, 10 out of 10 times, you should get away with at least 1 kill and make an advantage for your team. Especially in low elo, like, I mean, it's just such a brainless strategy that, you know, there's no way these guys are gonna respect a shorty in the lamps. Or use any utility for the lamps. Now, on the defender side, your team theoretically doesn't have any weakness. You know, on defense, we're pretty good. with this team composition. And it is a bit miraculous that we got 7 rounds on the attack. Basically, winning 7 rounds on the attack of Bind should guarantee you winning on that map. Like, one of the main problems of maps such as Split and Bind is that playing on the attack in the solo queue environment in ranked is just hell of a time. They require a bit higher levels of team play. So on these maps, if you just win 3 rounds on the attack, you should be happy. And surrender option doesn't exist for you. Because attacking on this map is hell of a time, especially if you follow some of the most common and the most important rules that I have explained in my agent playbook on my Discord. As I said, like, I mean, I would recommend you to do this, even if I didn't see enemies on the minimap. Like, you will watch any VOD review on Bind, like, you always play B side. Yes, you have a Cypher and Gecko there, play B. Fuck it. You need to play B in the first round. If you lose B in the first round, like, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, let's see how do we start. We talked about your jump spotting. You know, it can be a bit better, but this is actually better than before, like, surprisingly. You need to pick this angle. You know, you should save your headhunter for this angle, for an example. But okay, I mean, like, okay, you can kind of play this strategy in the way that you are playing it as well. But the problem is, it's just a bit too risky, because you're gonna end up stuck in the lamps, potentially. So even what you're doing is, it's actually okay. Now I see the idea and what he's trying to do. Like, okay, you can do this as well. You know, play with a shorty here, and then with the headhunter, try to delete one enemy that is pushing through short, and then switch to the guns. But the problem is, like, the classic needs to be here when you finish this. Because once you do this, we need to have the classic to pick it up immediately and fight additional enemies. If 2 or 3 enemies are pushing us for some reason. Reset, listen, be a bit faster at resetting your abilities. Like, as soon as you're like 90% certain that you're not going to use it anymore, pick it up. Like, every second matters, because it's 30-second cooldown, and God knows what's going to happen right now. Yeah, we just run. We just run. We just run. Even here you should be running. Like, I don't know, like, why did you slow down? Enemies cannot be on the bomb set yet. We have a Cypher in the window. Yes, Gecko is smoked off, but enemies cannot be that fast. To be honest, in this example, you have 2 options. You can fight with your Omen through this smoke, or you can go into the elbow and from the elbow, like, try to assist your Gecko. Whatever you decide to do, both options are fine. But probably the best option right now is just to wait for our ISO to complete this flank and lurk, and just to backstab the enemies. Like, usually in these examples, if you have enough time to wait for this guy to work for you, that is the best option. But unfortunately, in low elo, like, I highly doubt that your Gecko and Omen are gonna have a patience to wait for the ISO. TP behind us. You know, listen, like, if you hear the Yoru teleport, destroy it. Don't even risk it. You know? Like, unless you're 100% certain that Yoru is gonna teleport on that specific TP, or, like, there's nothing better for you to do. I mean, here, like, enemies are flooding onto the bomb site. Anything can happen, you know? Like, just destroy it. Like, don't get yourself outplayed by that shit. Like, you know, maybe you use a fake TP, now you turn around, they peek you, you die.
I can't miss.
Ooh, hello, KO. I mean, you quite literally saw the guy there. We can spam him with the bullets there.
Last player
Never mind, like, this guy is just stupid.
standing.
You should have picked up this sheriff from the ground, because why not? I mean, the whole point of why Classic and Light Shell is such a good option on Bind is not only because it's such a claustrophobic map with so many tight angles and tight corridors, but also, like, I mean, like, if you pick up the Ghost or a sheriff with the Light Shield, I mean, like, you're a juggernaut in that round.
Teleport's ready.
Okay, we know that KO is. Is he getting ready to flash us or something? I don't know, like, I don't know how you're so lost here. Like, I mean, if you clear the left side, you heard the flash from the window. What are you searching for? But once again, we come back to that problem of your general awareness in Valorant that we need to fix with some kind of a training. But also, like, you made one very common mistake here when it comes to playing on a defender side. That's such a... I mean, this mistake people make, like, all the way up to high mortal. So, this is the scenario right now. We have the ISO in the garden. He is safe. He is absolutely safe. You know, he cannot die in any way. We have Omen on the right side, and you're with the Omen at the back side. Like, the worst thing we can do right now is allow our Omen to take a 50-50 fight without us being able to refrag that Omen. Like, when you're positioning yourself on a defender side... Okay, we took a wrong agent. When you're positioning yourself on a defender side, like, you always want to position in a way where you can take a fight with your teammates 0.5 seconds after they take a fight. You need to be ready to fight together with them. Like, if you're here, and KO is basically, you know, on the left side, you don't see shit. Now Omen can die alone. But, okay, even if the Omen dies, what is the next step for you? Like, what should be your next step in this situation? Move towards the ISO. And now both you and ISO can hold the drop from the window, and that's it. Or one guy can hold back, ISO hold this, and we're able to fight together no matter what. Thankfully, Omen killed this guy, but, you know, we should have been on the left side. I'm explaining this because this is a very common mistake for you in your gameplay on the attacker side as well. Like, you don't pay any attention on angles on which you're fighting with your teammates. Like, a lot of times on attack, especially during the post plants, you were not there to fight with your teammates in time when they're taking a fight. Like, the biggest misconception, like, the biggest thing that people don't realize in this game is the proper ranked team play and proper positioning. Like, you know, an average player would say that, yes, here you're playing with your team, but you're not. And generally speaking, when I'm talking about refrag potential, I'm not only talking about, you know, your teammate swinging first, he dies, and you refrag him. Like, the proper ranked team play is where you play in a way with your allies where you don't allow them to die, where you can take the fights together with them, and not just bait them for a kill. We want that guy to stay alive, to save our economy, to prevent enemies from building ultimate points, and, you know, to just secure the round in the most painless way possible. Okay, this time, you know, this worked, but just play B set in the first round. This round should have been over like 20 seconds ago. Now, yes, you know, like, basically, in the first round of Bind, if enemies decide to push B, and you win that round, it's a W. Second round, you always play on the A side. Now, yes, you can do exactly what you're doing at this moment of time. Playing on top of the truck, and basically, like, buying the outlaw. Sure, why not? Let me just see how much money you have. So we have 3,200 credits. But yeah, this is basically outlaw and a trademark. But you can buy everything here. You can buy outlaw, trademark, and for the rest of the money, just buy headhunters, and that's it. But also, you know, on Bind, especially in low elo, operator is so powerful. Because one of the most common problems for players on Bind is that on the attacker side, they don't know how to scale up through the choke points. They lack utility, they lack proper movement, jump spotting doesn't exist, and you can punish the shit out of the enemies. So one additional buy option here would be getting a stinger with this light shield and a trademark. And that would allow you to guarantee yourself operator in the fourth round. But okay, you know, getting the outlaw in the second round, the most optimal choice ever. You just go for the body shots, and, you know, another mistake of the players in your elo is what? Economy mismanagement. A lot of the times players will mismanage their economy, and then in the third round, when you have the bonus weapon, the outlaw, they might have light shields, easy kills for you again. Now, listen, in a second round, if you want to play on top of the truck, and you want to use some kind of a TP, I would recommend you to basically use this teleport, instead of the one that, actually, Yeah, we cannot do that now because boosting doesn't exist anymore. I forgot about that. Like, I actually never tested the chat. Like, is it fully impossible now to boost in Valorant? You know, to go underneath the player and get him up on these positions. If that is impossible, then fuck it. You know, like it's okay. Like what you're doing at this moment.
That's not teleport's ready.
Listen, this setup that you're using here is totally fine, but these type of you know, cheeky-breaky setups, you should say for the rounds where you are in some kind of a disadvantage. Rounds where, like, you know, shit hits the fan, and basically, like, or the rounds where the enemies are full buy. You don't want to use this type of a setup with Outlaw, number one. Why? Because reload time is ginormous. If you fire both of your bullets right now for this fight, in the A short, you don't have time to reload the Outlaw. And also, another problem is, like, why would you show this setup to the enemies in a second round? And a bit better setup, you know, with this teleport, is not you playing the truck. It's you getting on this position right here with this teleport. Because then you have plenty of time to take some initial fight with your teammates. We can play a double tower setup. Like basically one teammate is here, you're here, we're holding right and left. And trying to kill the enemies and get the early contact. TP away, reset the teleport, hold this. Now, whenever you're doing some kind of a setup that is primarily made for the A short area of the map, always put your trademark for the showers and put it a bit deeper. Put it like this, where basically the trademark sees the enemies in showers and they need to destroy it in order to, you know, get an angle on top of the truck or deep into the site. You'll get faster info that enemies are actually, you know, in the showers. Okay, that's good. Actually, surprisingly good. Now listen, there's only 4 ways, or 5 ways, how you play on top of the truck. So, number 1, you can hide by placing your crosshair down on this white line and going on the edge of the white line. This is the way how enemies are not gonna see you on top of the truck. They're not gonna see the tip of your gun, and the whole point of this is to surprise the enemies as they're executing the site. When you hear the utility dropping down, when you hear the enemies pressing the W key, when they're not ready for a fight, we swing out, we take a kill, TP away. Second way, you can immediately start on top of the truck and just, you know, hold this angle, occasionally peek this position, and just hold it like this. Okay, one time we can do that. Then with the snipers, especially with the Outlaw and Operator, we can hold this bench position here and fuck up those enemies. If you see that enemies are always using the bench to pick the A short, that can be a free kill for you. And then what we can go for after the bullet gets back into our chamber, we can go for a jump crouch and go for another shot and TP away. So that's the only way how you should be holding this position. Don't lose the info. You cannot, like, if you're holding this left spot, you cannot lose the info on the right position for such a long period of time. Because enemies see you here. You know, you're in a huge angle perception disadvantage. This wall is much closer than the wall compared to the enemies. And they see your shoulder, they see you. They're ready for a fight. Like, if you're holding the short like this, you need to see both this angle and this angle. And you can, you can strafe a bit. Like, go a bit left, go a bit right, left, right. That's it. Or you can just hold one angle and do the flicks on the opposite.
Trap destroyed.
Don't lose the timing on the right. Here, you still don't need to put your focus onto the enemies in showers, because, I mean, you have a tripwire for that. But, you know, both options are totally fine. Yes, right now you can drop down and try to kill enemies in showers, or you can focus on enemies in A short. Whatever you decide to do, it's fine. But the problem right now is that we cannot use this teleport at all. Because enemies are super close to us. They're doing a split. We don't have the showers control anymore. We cannot use that teleport. Reset it And that's it. Probably the most optimal decision right now is what he is doing. Just dropping down, locking in the showers. That's it. Listen, don't do this. Like, don't do blind shots of the outlaw if you're not 100% certain that you're gonna kill the enemies, or there's nothing better for you to do. Like right now, enemies are doing an execute. In a matter of seconds, they can be in your anal cavity. Like if enemies are already giving you breathing time, where you can reload this one bullet, take that time. Because reloading 2 bullets takes around 3.8 seconds, or some kind of a crazy number like that. And 2 bullets is around 2 or 2.5, something like that. The whole point is like, when you fire these 2 bullets, you're useless for around 3 seconds and more. And by that time, your Cypher can already be a goner. And, you know, we're not gonna have a fun time defending a site. You see here, like, if you didn't fire that shot, but instead you reloaded these 2 bullets, and you focused on fighting enemies in showers, on the contact of your Cypher, enemies are gone. Like, right now, what we should have done is, you know, okay, we shot that clone, sure, fine, whatever. Reload that 1 bullet, and now just play here. Cypher swings, enemies, they use the flashes. 2 free kills for you, you can reset yourself. Please, man, like, it is mega important when you're playing Chamber, that as soon as you think that enemies are gonna destroy your teleport, enemies are gonna destroy your trademark, or your trademark and teleports are just useless, reset those 2 abilities. Because if they destroy them, you don't have them anymore. There's no cooldown. You cannot use them. Enemies didn't even plant the spike. But we can probably use that teleport at least 1 or maybe even 2 times before this round ends. If you did it at 1:28 when your ISO died in the showers. Like already this moment of time here, you will have 20 seconds for the TP. Plenty enough to do something with it. But if they destroy the teleport and trademark, that's it. No cooldown, no nothing. The ability is just gone. That's why, like, you should always have a habit when you're playing Chamber, like, as soon as you recognize that, you know, you TP away, enemies are not pushing the site which you were playing, just pick the utility bit yourself. If they already planted the spike, they're moving in and all of that stuff. Anyways, here, like, I don't know why you ended up in such a fucked up position here. Like, this spot in anti-eco round, you don't need to be there. You know, enemies are in a huge disadvantage. They don't have any guns. They have pistols. They have, I don't know, maybe some shotgun shorties, something like that. And you have Outlaw. If you already didn't find any kills from the backside, or you cannot find them, just immediately rotate onto the tower. And from tower, fuck up the enemies. I mean, like, basically, you know, one of the most common mistakes that players make on Bind is that they are still putting in 2025 this smoke here. Literally, the most useless smoke, the most useless default smoke on any map in Valorant. You have the gaps on the left and right to punish them, kill them, and that's it. So even if they smoke you on tower, you'll kill them. You'll probably have a teleport later anyways to pick them. Like, there's no reason for you to get stuck here and get overrun by the enemies that have the close range weapons. Especially with Outlaw, I mean, like, you want to extend the range with your enemies as much as you can. And if enemies are giving you breathing time, your teammates are not fighting on the site, we don't have any other opportunity to, like, kill the enemies. It is what it is. It is what it is. Better to get on a spot where, you know, you can actually do something with it.
Out of charges.
I don't know why you... Listen, like, if Gecko is sending his wingman, and you can destroy his wingman, destroy it. Take your time. I mean, you hear the footsteps here. You heard that the Yoru is in the corner, Gecko is stuck in the showers. Just destroy it with a classic pistol, or I don't know, like, you have a vision here, on the wingman there. Don't let him plant the spike. Enemies are 4v3. Your Cypher has the full lamps. Let's not get the enemies get one ultimate orb and 1000 credits, basically, for the whole team. You know, enemies planting the spike right now without the wingman, they're done. They're goners in this match. Your Gecko rotated, Omen rotated, Cypher has the full lamps control, and you're applying the pressure from this position. If they don't plant the spike, the round is just practically over. You can also reload the 2 bullets of Outlaw. Why? Because, I mean, you have Omen supporting you from the top. He's gonna give you time to do that. When it comes to your mechanical skill, we'll have to work on that shit a lot. Like, because this VOD review took me, like, literally 3 days. I've already prepared for you some kind of an aim training that you will be doing, like, starting as soon as I finish this VOD review. We need to work on some of these problems. Like, you know, one of the biggest problems for you is that you're shooting however the fuck you want. Mana. Crosshair is on the enemies, I take a shot. Crosshair is not on the... I take a shot. You just take a shot no matter if you confirm your target or not. With your vision, with your crosshair placement, with everything. Like, just take a look at this for an example. Like, you had so much time to kill this Gecko and Yoru. Take your time. Like, basically, what is very important in Valorant? Mega important. Precision over anything else. You will become faster with time when it comes to utility usage, when it comes to decision making, when it comes to aiming, when it comes to movement, positioning. But it is very important, especially when you're in low elo or you start playing the game, that you focus on precision over the speed. But in everything that you do, especially when you're a beginner or in these lower ranks, because you will have time to do it. And even if you don't have time to do it, it is always better to do a good play, not only a play, a good thing, rather than consistently doing the bad shit and falling underneath these bad habits in a long run. Like here, for an example. Here. Take your time, you know, like, the guy has, I don't know, what is that, Spectre or something? But come on, Yoru killing you here with the Spectre. Like, Silver Yoru. Just like, Bang Chang, see you tomorrow, man. Just relax, you know, stop, take a shot. Then flick onto the Gecko, take another shot. Like, I guarantee to you, even if you don't move for an inch in this type of a fight, for an inch, but you just make sure that your crosshair is onto the enemy's body, you kill both of these guys and you maybe survive with 20 or 10 HP. Like, you peek them, they didn't hit you for a bullet. Now, since you're using Outlaw, this is something that I've actually never explained before, and it just hit my mind right now. So, listen, another mistake that players usually make with Outlaw is how they take fights with Outlaw. So basically, with Outlaw, you follow all of the rules as you follow with Operator. It is the identical weapon, but there is one problem. It has 2 bullets. And there is a resting time in between those 2 bullets. So what you always want to do with Outlaw is that, first of all, when you fire the first bullet, your crosshair always goes on the same place of the first bullet. So all you need to micro-correct or adjust is your horizontal aim. Don't fight against the vertical recoil. Don't try to do some kind of a shit like this. Instead of wasting your time doing this type of a shit, it is much better when you fire the first shot that you take this resting time to move. Try to fuck up the enemy's crosshair. Try to be a bit harder target to kill for that guy that is waiting for your second shot. So, if I was fighting Yoru and Gecko here, like, basically I'm not gonna be a static potato, as I mentioned that you should do, but, you know, we swing here, we take a shot onto Yoru, and then make a small micro step or a crouch step onto the right side or left side to be a harder target for that Gecko. Especially in low elo, if you apply like this micro movement with the Outlaw. I mean, like, people in your rank, they already have terrible crosshair placements. You know? If by some kind of a luck, they had a right crosshair placement for you, like this micro movement is gonna throw them off, and that's a free kill for you, basically. On this range, that matters. Now, in longer ranges, like, you know, usually these micro movements don't matter that much because you're not moving that much on the enemy screen on such a big distance. But overall, like, you're just trying to be too fast for your own good. Speed is gonna come with time. You know, you like, let's say for an example, you go to the gym for the first time ever. Brother, you're not gonna go on a treadmill and put it at 15 or 20 and run like a Usain Bolt for an hour. You're gonna start with maybe 5, 4, 3 incline, you know, like something slow. You don't wanna unalive yourself immediately. It's plenty of time to do that until Radiant.
Out of charges.
And same with the Sheriff, like, you know, Headhunter is a better version of a Sheriff. And you can get away with a lot of spamming and a lot of shit. But let the gun rest a bit. You know, put it to sleep. Some lullaby, you know, like, sing to him. Sing to the gun, bro. You're overworking this, I wanted to say something nasty, but I'm not. like, just relax a bit.
Out of charges.
But actually, the biggest problem in this round, and why we lost it, is you should have fought with your Cypher on the left side when the Gecko used the flash, and you should have been ready for that fight. Instead of firing that one bullet here, which disallowed you to fight this Gecko and Yoru at the showers. Second mistake, staying at the backside. Enemies don't have any smokes anymore. They just use the only claw of smoke they had. Go onto the tower, and from tower, 3 picks for you. Third problem, this wingman. Why did you let the wingman plant the spike? If enemies are already not pushing you, you hear them playing passively, they're stuck in the corners, kill the wingman, don't allow the enemies to plant the spike. Round is probably over. Especially because our Cypher took back the control of the lamps. Basically, in this round, you didn't need to do anything more than that. You didn't even need to fight this Yoru and Gecko, and you would have won this round anyways. Now, in this round, we need to play a bonus. Like, basically, in the first 4 rounds, you always follow the basic economy management rules in Valorant. You don't really care, like, what your, you know, TCB the good, Soli, Pigeon, and others, like, what are they gonna buy? In the first 4 rounds, just follow the basic rules. So, the third round should be a bonus round for you. So, what should we buy in this bonus round? We can go for maybe a Stinger and a Light Shield. You can go for a Heavy Shield and Headhunters. You can go for a Light Shield and Bucky and some Headhunters as well. Like, the main power of Chamber, especially in Bind, is that you can be a weapon minister. Like, you can bait the enemies in so many different ways and get so many easy kills. It's just insanity. So, first of all, where should we play in this third round? In the first round, enemies went B. In the second round, they went A. So, we can immediately pre-assume that they are maybe gonna follow the AB pattern. Anyways, if you need to guess where the enemies are gonna go, just gamble on the B side. It's much harder side for the retakes. Now, so we play B in this next round. And as I said, like, you have multiple different options. We can try to fuck up enemies with a Bucky, with a Shorty, with the Headhunters applied. Stinger as well if you want Stinger, like, but I mean, I don't see a reason to do that. Like, I would always go for Headhunters and a Shotgun because the map is just, you know, bonkers for those 2 weapons. Judge! Okay, my man is going all in. Now listen, if you're a secondary sentinel, and you don't need a trademark, and instead of buying that trademark, you can get maybe 2 more headhunters, maybe a heavy shield, maybe a better gun, fuck the trademark. You don't need it. Cypher is already there on the B site, defending the whole site. Where the fuck are we gonna place this trademark anyways? Relax. You know, we can just put it. You know, we can just, instead of, okay, you decided to go all in. I can respect it. Let's try to win this third round as well. But get 4 headhunters. You don't need a trademark at all. So now what we can do is, okay, Judge, heavy shield, 4 headhunters. We can do literally the same thing you did in the first round, but just different, a bit different. So we can start in a window, holding this tight angle, as tight as your reaction time allows you, with a headhunter. Bop, bop, try to get 1 pick. And then, as the enemies are moving in, with a Judge, we can try to fuck them up as they're scaling up to this position. With a classic pistol, we can destroy their flashes, recon abilities, and everything else. And then when they're getting on top of the box, or here, try to get a kill, get out. And now we still have 3 or 2 headhunters to fight the enemies. And good luck when it comes to the enemy team scaling up into sight, because we still have a Judge. Most of the times, I would say 90%. If you're playing on the B set of Bind, you should have the teleport either at the backside or inside of the tube. And especially if you're playing window. Unless you want to go for some aggressive play, but doing that right now with the Judge is just kind of stupid. But okay, let's see what our friend is gonna do. Overstacking positions with utility is just also kind of stupid a bit. Like, I mean, your Cypher is already using a tripwire there. You're playing with 3 players on B side. Like, I would personally just save that trademark. I would not even use it. I would use it for the retake if I was wrong, that enemies are gonna go B. But we're never wrong, you know, like, because we follow the basic rules of positioning in Valorant, and we can predict enemies 80% of time. Especially in the ranks that are below Immortal 1. Now this is very dangerous. Like, this is how you should never play with the shotguns in close range angles in Valorant. Like, you always wanna, like, basically, in this type of a setup, when you have a teammate with yourself, it should always be some kind of a double bait setup. Like, one of you guys needs to get a contact with the enemies, so that we know when the enemies are gonna flood in, what are they gonna do, and one of you needs to destroy the enemy's abilities. Enemies have 3 pop flash agents. Yoru clone, Yoru flash, KO flash, KO knife, Gecko flash, Gecko wingman. So, like, what are we gonna do here? If the enemies just walk all the way to this choke point and explode with 6 flashes in our anal cavity. Nothing. We're just gonna die. And if you decide to play alone with a Judge in the window, you always need to start in a way where you hold this angle. And with the Headhunters and Classic, you're trying to destroy the enemy's abilities, and then with a Judge, finishing off the enemies. You cannot turn away from that flash. We need to destroy it. Thankfully, like in this round, basically your Cypher saved you. But in the same time, your Cypher fucked you up as well. Why? If you played a double bait setup here, like maybe Cypher is baiting for you without their stupid smoke, enemies would have more confidence to go in, and that's 3 kills for us for free. To be honest, like, I would probably tell this Cypher, fuck away, man. Go play with the Gecko in garden. I don't need you. Like, what is that Cypher gonna provide to me? Nothing. Like, fuck you, man. You can just hold the angle with the Classic with a Headhunter, try to kill one guy, destroy with a Classic pistol the enemy Gecko flash, hide behind the box with a Judge, pop out 1-2 kills, get out on the side, that's it. Ooh, okay. That was an interesting teleport. Now listen, another problem that you're making for yourself here is that you're playing too far away from this angle with a Judge. Like with the shotguns, when you're playing from the right side, you always want to play around this carpet area here. Like this, basically. And moving in and out to spot the targets. Like this. You see the enemies, we can try to kill one guy, reset here, and then maybe try to go for more kills. And also this teleport is kinda bad. But, I mean, in this situation with the Cypher, like, it's okay, I guess. Like, I mean, we can TP away and Cypher can protect us, probably.
There they are.
Okay, listen. Whenever you end up in this type of situation, where enemies have the guard in control, and they can just flood onto the site, and you don't have a teleport for sight, we need to fight in the window. Like, if enemies are already super close, there's nothing that you can do, and we need to deal with this Yoru now. Very good. But now, listen, like, enemies are moving into the site, you hear them moving, your Cypher is behind you dead. Focus on those enemies. Enemies here, ISO teleported. We don't need to focus anymore on the B short. ISO is gonna protect us. Or die. I don't care about what he does. But if Omen dies, and we don't kill that Gecko, I mean, the round is practically over.
Last player standing.
Once again, this round, same as the previous round, could have been much more painless. You know? And please, like, try to develop a habit where, as soon as you teleport, your instant thought process should be, like, to pick up the TP. Reset it. You know? And especially, if teleport is gonna reset itself, like it's at 4 seconds, do it before this number becomes 0. Because if this number becomes 0, and you pick up a TP again, once again it's on a cooldown of 30 seconds. And we're not gonna have a TP anymore for this retake. This is a huge problem. Now this teleport is gonna be super useful to us. I mean, just imagine in this retake, if you had a TP and a trademark as well, a round is over. Literally over. Like right now, when you're scaling up onto the site to go towards the spike, we can easily use a teleport here. Then, or even deeper, you know, we can put it here. Because we know that Gecko is either tower or backside. Now, we can put a trademark, maybe for the lamps, so we know 100% that he cannot kill us from there, and we half defuse the spike. Then we can fight with ISO, we have a TP for one safe fight, and then we can take another fight with a Peeker's advantage, proper cross replay, that's it.
One enemy remaining.
Especially in this 1v1. That trademark is everything. And the teleport as well. With a trademark we can reveal the Gecko. With a TP we can dodge the enemy Gecko ultimate. And we can fully reset this round with a half defuse spike in our favor.
Oh yeah, monster on the loose.
I don't know what we're trying to do here, but yeah. I guess audio is not your... Audio in this game is your biggest enemy. I don't know, like, what's happening there. Like, a lot of times you hear some footsteps and abilities and you just don't react to them. But it just might be your general unawareness that you have. What the fuck was this? Would be nice to TP, but it would be really, you know, just a suggestion, you know, like, basically that is how you get the most out of Chamber's utility. Like, you need to be light on it. There's no reason to save it so much, like, you should be resetting it. It's the same as Cypher. You know, one of the biggest mistakes of Cypher players is they know that enemies are planting the spike on the opposite side. The spike is already planted. They leave the whole setup on the B. And they use both cages, both tripwires, and leave the camera on the pick up your utility. And at the start of the round, unless you're doing some one-way cages, don't use both of your cages on the ground. What's the rank? Silver 1. Silver 1. Now, I really don't know what you wanted to do here. Let me see the economy first. Like, I need to see, like, what are we buying? Same for the Astra setup stream, same for any agent. I don't know how much, but we have 2,600, but are your teammates buying? That's the question. You know, from the 4th round and 5th round, you manage your economy based on what your teammates want to do. Like, if your teammates want a full buy in a round where we should save, you tell your teammates, hey guys, maybe it's a good idea to save some money for the next round. Now, your teammates fuck your whole family line, or they mute you and they don't listen. If they're forcing, you force. If they're saving, you save and you make sure that you have money to buy for the next round. Like, the problem is, like, if you have a disconnected economy management from your teammates, it doesn't matter, you know, what you're, you know, it doesn't matter, like, how you are managing economy. Gotta say it in that Mickey Mouse, absolutely. If you don't do it, like, you know, they're not gonna listen. Okay. Yeah, this is a full buy, man. I'm sorry to break it to you, but, how the fuck we have... He stopped fragging, bro, this match. So, right now, what do you buy? So, instead of getting a shorty, we can get a light shield, judge with headhunters. That's it. More than enough to win this round. More than enough. But where do we play this round? This round, we need to play on the beast set again. Why? I have absolutely no idea where the enemies are gonna go. Absolutely no idea. Like, if you have no idea where the enemies are gonna go, based on any patterns or something like, just gamble on B. It's fine. Totally fine. But as I said, like, here, if you wanted to play in this default way in the lamps, just repeat the first round strategy with a judge. You know? Put a deep TP into the spawn, bait the enemies with a headhunter or classic pistol, destroy their utility, and just shove up this judge into the enemy's ass. Like, there is no way that all the way up to diamond or platinum, you will see that enemies are taking the lamps properly. They're just gonna swing it like monkeys. People just don't... And I don't know what was this teleport like. We're flexing a TP. Testing it if it works. Listen, if you want to peek this angle, jump spot it first and then go for a peek. There's literally no reason to do some jiggle peek here or do a small peek or anything. You're playing chamber. You know, the whole point of the chamber, jet, and these TP agents is you get first the info for your crosshair placement. You go for a wide swing with a proper crosshair placement and full-on peeker's advantage. Get one guy out of the server, TP away, that's it. Oh, hello? Is this some kind of a fake? Like, what's going on? I'm telling you one more time. Like, if your teammates don't wanna save, like, there's literally no point in you saving at all. And I don't know what you're holding right now. I mean, your Cypher literally cleared the A short. Basically, you know, when the Cypher cleared the A short for you, right here, that was the time for you to get the fuck away. Like, one of your teammates died on B, you know that there's at least 1 or 2 enemies moving onto the B side based on the minimap that you saw. Rotate. I mean, obviously they're gonna end up on B side. But listen, another thing I need to ask is, okay, you wanted to save in this round, but why did you save so much money for the next round? I mean, in the next round with this, so you have 2,350 credits. In the next round, you're gonna have what? He's gonna have around 4.5k. Something around that number. You could have easily bought like 8 headhunters instead of just 2. That was criminal. To be honest, like, unintentionally, right now you're making the right play. That you're not forcing these fights. Because we have a Cypher on the lurk. He is now the playmaker. You know, he is the guy that is gonna decide the outcome of this round. So, whenever you have a teammate that is lurking and you have plenty of time to defuse a spike, we should wait for that guy to do something, but we should also apply some pressure. Which we kinda did. But doing this now, why? Let the ISO take a first contact if he already wants to be an imbecile. Okay, this is a kill. Triple shot! Or just running him down, I guess.
Last player standing.
But still, like, much better decision here than for you to go into the elbow was to simply hold the elbow from the spawn and play with the ISO. And let's wait for the Cypher to clear whole garden and get a vision onto the enemies on sight. And then, when the Cypher is basically around this choke point, we can just flood out together with the ISO and pinch the enemies. This is gonna be another tragic round where KO clutches somehow. Nah, not like this, bro. Okay, never mind. Like this. So what was the problem here? This smoke is terrible from the Cypher. Like, you should never make this type of a mistake. Brother, if you're 2v1 against an enemy, and that enemy is already on the site, don't give enemy more cover to split you into one versus one fights, or to spam you down, or to do some crazy shit. Fight that guy. Fuck it, we can half defuse the spike, get off of the spike, peek the KO together, clear the whole site, and still have enough time to defuse the spike. Oh, wait, I think. Sorry, I got ganked by my doors. Okay, now this next round, it's actually okay that you're playing on A. I'm not gonna lie, I would have also played on the A side, because we just won a round on the B side, and the chances are a bit higher that enemies are gonna go A. But starting from the next round, we need to position based on what enemies are attacking the most. You think aim trainers are worth the time? Yes. But you should not spend like 3 hours in those software. I don't know, like, just apply it in your daily routine. A bit of warm-up, a bit of aim training, that's it. And you should combine everything. Aim trainers with a deathmatch, with a practice range, whatever is gonna work on your problems. Okay. Okay, I mean, this is a pretty passive setup, like, I have nothing against it, like, sure. We can do it. we already talked about this angle. You cannot hold it like this. Just tell me, what if an enemy peeks you like this? What happens then? Like, no, listen, not only that you're playing on that angle, and you have a huge angle perception disadvantage, and that enemy already sees you, but you're holding a gun that is this fucking big. You know? Bigger than Julio Gomez's penis. And you want to hold this angle in that way. You can't. Like, in these positions where angle perception advantage is fucking you up, you need to have a vision on every angle from which enemies can peek you at that moment. And risk it a bit. But anyways, like, with Chamber, this is not a risk. With any agent. You know, if you hold this angle like this, for an example, enemy peek you right, you do this, bam. Chances that you die, below 30%, even lower. Chances that you get a kill, 50-50. I mean, listen, like, your ISO pushed the showers. He cleared the showers completely. You have no vision on A short onto any enemy. Enemies are running in through the window, and you heard that with the Gecko Flash and other utility. Time to rotate. Anyways, like, you literally have a full Cypher and Chamber setup on A site. Relax. But also, we made another mistake in this round. Listen, if you have on bind, if you have hyper aggressive teammates on the bomb set on which you're playing, such as your ISO, like for example, your ISO wants to do this, and there is a chance that he dies alone. Play with him. Fuck it. You know, put a trademark for A short, put a TP up here, and be ready to follow that guy up and to play on his contact. Now, your ISO wants to push A short. Like you see on the minimap that he's starting like this. That means that in his brain, he's ready to go out. Like, one of the easiest things that you can use to predict what your teammates are gonna do is their utility usage, abilities that they're holding in the hands, and their body posture. Like if your Reyna is jumping here, like this, around this position, or your ISO is basically here, you instantly pre-assume 2 steps ahead what's gonna happen. And what's gonna happen, your ISO is gonna take the worst possible fight in B short and die like a potato alone. You see that someone in your team is starting like this. Put a TP basically on the left side here, or deep, it doesn't really matter that much. Be ready to swing on that motherfucker's contact and support him. Especially if you're playing the same side together, like, I mean, you know, even though you want to use the operator here, I mean, your ultimate. If your ISO want to pick this, for an example, still, you know, you should put a TP here or TP here and scale up with him. You know, you hold this, he holds that, and now we can both, like, play some kind of a crossfire setup and support each other. You can trade the ISO here, you can kill the enemy here, that's it. But we should have started rotating a long time ago. Because at the end of the day, not only that you support your ISO or your most aggressive teammates, you get the information as well. Like if they want to play that aggressive and bind, amazing, very good, not bad. You know, I have nothing against it if we do some strategy together or double peek together. You get the info that enemies are not showers, they are not A short, B short, long, whatever. And then we can just reset and see what is the next step for us. We can maybe follow that guy, go for a double flank, or we can maybe just get the fuck away, teleport away, and go towards the B side or A side. Pigeon with a Spectre, man. What the fuck is that ultimate? Please start resetting your abilities. What is that trademark doing on the A side? Like, okay, I'm gonna showcase to you how useful this trademark is right now. So we have 0 elbow control. Zero bomb site control, zero everything. And the smoke is in our anal cavity here. And right now we need to go out and pinch the enemies on sight. You can literally use a trademark deep into the elbow. That's it. Now enemy cannot wrap us like this. You want to end up, you need to scale up with your gecko here. Instead of fully baiting your gecko and letting him go first, we can put a trademark here. Enemies cannot play close. Enemies cannot play there. Enemies cannot play here. They can only peek us from where? From the left side. You just need to have a crosshair placement ready for, right. Listen, one more tip with the chamber. If your teleport is already 2 or 3 seconds away, relax a bit. You know, you can relax. It is totally fine. Like, instead of just rushing out and taking any fight or trying to get a better timing, like, wait for the TP. Put it some, right now, like, when you kill that guy in the window, your gecko is there. We can put a teleport here, and now with a teleport, scale up and take some secondary fight.
Teleport's ready.
And also, you ended up in this position. You know that Yoru is in the elbow. You know that one enemy is in the window. Before you engage enemies anywhere, put this TP here. It's safe. Yoru doesn't see you from elbow. These guys from the window don't see you. Now just, take a kill. Not only that you can take a free kill and a safe fight, but also you reposition towards your gecko so that he can fight on every single angle where he can take a fight at that moment of time.
Teleport's ready.
Every single time when you die as chamber without using your teleport ability, it is the time where you could have done something better. This is what I was talking about in the previous round. Like, certain enemies that you play against will just have a certain preference to just abuse certain site more than others. And especially if they're just pushing the site that is default for you on that map anyways. You can gamble on that site. Like, defending B set on bind is very important. Like, B set retakes are always harder than A set retakes. A set retakes are like 50-50. B set are never 50-50. Especially if you end up in a numbers disadvantage or the numbers are equal. So right now, we can just play on B. Yes, I know Cypher is playing there, but can you trust these teammates in silver, bronze, gold? I don't know. Who are we playing with at this moment of time? Also, same as on the attacker side. Pay attention to the enemy's ultimate abilities. The enemies right now have the Chaos Ultimate. Now, most teams on bind with the Chaos Ultimate will push B side. Why? Because Chaos Ultimate does almost nothing on A side. It's not that big to cover the whole site. While it is big enough to cover the B side completely. And most teams, when they have Gecko Ultimate, will go B. Why? It's more efficient. Less long-range angles to clear. Easier to clear the whole... Like, Gecko with Ultimate just needs to do this. And he clears the whole site. That's it. Or he ends up here and just... On A side. If he uses the Ultimate from here or here... Yeah, he can clear the close angles, lamps, but already here, the ultimate is gone. He goes from the showers, he can probably end up somewhere here, and that's it, like. Yes, that's how the Gecko's ultimate sounds. Listen, like, you know, one good thing about the chamber is if you miss the op shot, you still have a headhunters. There's nothing better you could have done here, like, except here the shots, of course, like, but we should have started on B set anyways. Now, if you already miss this type of a shot, second shot doesn't exist for you, you instantly turn onto the headhunter and try to tap these two heads. It was actually a miracle he had time to fire a second shot there.
One enemy.
Fuck, I mean, you know, both of these peaks that he did, I guess fine, but it kind of seems that you're doing these peaks for the sake of doing them. Like, you're not even searching for the targets on your screen. You're just pre-firing based on zero knowledge where the enemies can be at that moment of time, and just wasting these 3 bullets. Take your time and analyze your screen a bit more, like jump spot the enemies, get the info, then go for a peek. You still have a teleport anyways, like just look at this, like, you see an enemy there, but no, like, it doesn't matter if you stopped properly to shoot. It doesn't matter if your crosshair is exactly on the enemies or not. You just take your time, analyze the distance between. Just try to focus yourself on more on the visualization of your targets. Like, actually see where is that fucking enemy, flake onto him, and then take a shot. You die, okay, it doesn't matter. At least you tried to kill that guy.
They found my trap.
I don't know why you did that. I mean, the whole point of this round is you want to bait the enemies to think that you have nothing better than a headhunter. And then you can shove up this stinger in their ass once they start moving towards the lamps.
They found my trap.
And once again, like, man, you know, if enemies already took the whole site, and you didn't find a single opportunity to use this teleport, you are not gonna use, like, just reset it. We live to fight another day. Also, why didn't you go for this type of a peek? I mean, your TP is very, very safe in this position, while the enemies are scaling up from the showers. Like, you know that enemy still didn't get behind this cover, and they cannot peek you. Like, take that one headhunter, try to delete one enemy, and then reset yourself, and now, God help us. No, that's it. Today, we're gonna play later. We're gonna play later. I wanna finish this VOD review. Listen, when you're peeking the enemies from the lamps, just don't go for a straight up peek. It's a suicide. Because enemies, especially if the enemies have this position, and this position, it's just an absolute suicide. Jump spot the enemies first, get the information about them, and now we can take a proper fight, you know, against them. Or try to shove up this one headhunter into his head. You know, yes, first of all, on this range, with the stinger, hip fire doesn't exist. Like, you are not gonna kill the guy on this range with a stinger with hip fire. When the enemies are above 20 meters away from you, 18-20 ADS. And what you're doing, you're trying to pull your mouse down right while aiming at the enemy's neck level. And you're trying to do this, and this, and this. But trying to do a burst... Just, I mean, like, I just don't know, like, this level of gambling, you know, you have higher chances of hitting a lotto than taking this skill. Once again, what is one of the biggest mistake of players in the ranks in which you're playing? Repetitiveness. People are just so boring with how they play on both attack and defense. So, usually if you see that the enemy Gecko, for the first time, use his ultimate on B. Anyways, that's what 90% of Gecko players do when they have ultimate on bind. Play B. If they already have the ultimate or they are one ultimate point away from the ult. You can instantly make that pre-assumption and position properly.
That works.
This doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, if you're already gonna fight for the A short, put the TP for the showers. The trademark for the showers. And vice versa. But anyways, here, like... I mean, leaving the Cypher alone on the B site, when enemies were pushing us on B so many times, and plus they have a Gecko's ultimate. Criminal.
Oh yeah!
At least what I like here is you're trying to do something different. You know? Now you're trying to TP on that little box, double box on the left. Go for... It's okay. You know, I love that you're changing your setups. That is a good sign in your gameplay. I mean, you heard the Vito's ultimate. Gecko used the ultimate on B. Pick up everything. Let's go B. Not another step. Like, already at this moment of time, you should have been somewhere close to your ISO. Oh, listen, man, like, if you have a teammate on the bomb site that is fighting for his life, we need to figure out a way how to support that guy before he dies. But we already have numbers advantage, which is good. We have one teammate on the flank and lurk. So even if the Cypher dies for nothing, it is still fine. Only because of these two reasons. Numbers advantage and the Gecko is behind the enemies.
No distraction.
Now listen, try to prioritize, like, if your teammates are already peeking out from this smoke, try to prioritize taking that fight. They are in much higher danger than your teammates going through the elbow. Like, you always want to fight the fights that are just gonna happen right now, that you know that are gonna happen. But also, like, maybe you can communicate to your allies a bit more here. You know, usually your teammates, when they're doing these flanks and lurks, such as Gecko, they're gonna be fully silent. And if you're already not fighting the enemies, like there's a smoke in front of you, like, what should you be doing right now for the next 10 seconds? Just looking at the minimap. Literally, your only job for the next 10 seconds is just to look at the minimap and to analyze the situation. Ask yourself where the enemies can be, where the enemies cannot be. And ask yourself, like, you know, what type of power play we have right now that we can rely on. Like, if there was 4 of you in the city right now, yes, 2 players should go through the choke point, 2 players elbow, we clear the elbow, we go for the retake. But if you already have a teammate on the flank, tell your, you know, Omen, ISO, Gecko is flanking, let him work a bit, you know, enemies just planted the spike right now. We have plenty of time, we have 40 seconds to defuse a spike. We can relax. Mohammed Abdul? What? Is there some song playing, like, right now? No, it's Nightmare.
No distraction.
We won that round, what the fuck? But yeah, we won because of that flank. Like, literally, if you just waited 10 seconds for the Gecko to complete the flank. You know? Just let me... The round is over.
Last player standing.
Okie dokie. It's a JoJo reference. I know. I know who is Muhammad Abdul, brother. Like, I watched the JoJo... Probably top 5. Top 5 enemies for me. Now, as I said, mix it up a bit. That is a good thing for you. If you already have the operator, but you don't need to start in such a boring way, holding the most common angle out of all of the common angles on bind. Feel free. Go for some aggression. You know? Feel free to put a TP here. Try to do this. And try to snipe down the enemies on this angle. You're safe. Very safe, actually. Feel free to, you know, play this type of a setup where you have a TP here. You play here. Especially... What's the biggest mistake that enemies are making? They're never jump spotting these two positions, and they're not using a single flash or recon ability to clear the choke points. Pick off angles. Play in the middle, wide open. You will get a kill. Listen, like, if you see a Yoru running like that, probably it's a clone. I mean, I know this is silver. There is a chance this is there is a huge chance this is a real Yoru. I mean, and anyways, I you know, one of the main advices I give to players is like, if you see something in the game, just shoot it. Shoot it yourself. But you know, don't ask for the Auschwitz. But this is just, you know, too obvious, like. I hope we have some good TP setup, otherwise we are fucked. Oh no, he put... Wait, where did you put the teleport? Up there. Okay, you know, the problem of this teleport is if you don't use it immediately, you know, with this type of a peek, you know, with this type of a hold or from this position, you're probably not gonna have time to use it ever again. If enemies are going for an execute. And if they're not smoking the top of the truck. Like, basically with this TP setup, you need to... You need to, like, get the first contact as soon as possible. And then we go for a repick. I really hope we bought a shorty, because we should combine the shorty with the operator, always. I mean, Chamber is just a minister of weapons. Shorty, op, headhunters. You have a weapon for everything. Like, there's no way you die in some kind of a stupid... I mean, there's always a way for you to die in a stupid way in this game, but... You have an answer to every play. It's very dangerous what you were doing here. Like, to be honest, when you were getting flooded, like, at this moment of time, when you heard the Yorus using the ultimate, you should have peeked this angle. You have a teleport and TP away. Like, this was your opportunity to strike. And you cannot pussy out from this play if you're playing Chamber. With the current setup that you have. Now, allowing the enemies to come so close to you, while the TP is still up there, and enemies are flooding the site. Good luck. Good luck, bro. I have no idea. How are we not dead? This was the round in which you were practically useless. But the only problem is like the TP setup that you didn't use. If you're going for that TP setup, you go for that TP setup because you know that enemies are not using proper utility to clear the A short area of the map. You need to get some instant fight with the enemies, TP on the truck, and then go for a repick and try to get one more kill, and then drop behind the truck. And then we do something based on how many kills we got, how many of our teammates are on the site, and, you know, do we need to fight for more space or just give the, you know, give the spike plant to the enemies and we can rotate tower and from tower apply the pressure. But just, you know, being stiff like this is gonna cost you a lot. Sheldon, I got a quick question, because said on Discord, Breach is the top 3 initiator in general, not only for ranks, but... no, I said that Breach is a top 3 initiator for ranks. Not in general. The thing about Breach is that... He, like, the higher you go in the ranks, the less valuable he is as a solo carry agent. You know? But in the ranks below Ascendant 1, he is a far better pick, solo carry pick, than someone such as Sova, for an example. You have a stun, you have aftershock, you have 2 flashes and a big ultimate. What else do you need to fuck up the enemies that are gold, platinum, silver, on the map such as Bind, Lotus, Ascent, you know? Even Split sometimes. Like, I would rather recommend a player that want to play Initiator in the ranks below Ascendant, a Breach, than someone like Sova, for an example. Or someone like KO. Because there's a higher chance that your setups are going to work. That your utility is going to fuck up the enemies. That is going to be useful. For you, and for your teammates as well. People don't turn away from the flashes in these ranks. They just stare at them. How much hours do you need in Omen to master him? That really depends on from player to player. Like, for me, it took me literally around 50 hours to get Radiant with Omen. For the first time ever. And that was in 2021 Act 2, I think. That is when I started maining the Omen and mastering the Omen. But on average, players need around 300 hours with Omen to actually call him a main agent. Most of the time. 300 approximately. Listen, as soon as you see that enemies are developing A-B pattern of pushing, follow that pattern with your positioning on the defender's side. As soon as you see that. We noticed that in the last 3 rounds, that is the only info that we have to read the enemies. And also, like, on a defender's side of every map, like, when you cannot read the enemies, another decision that you can make in your positioning, like, how can you decide where to play? You can also decide how to play based on what your teammates are doing. Like, if 3 out of 4 of your teammates are playing passively, you can play with that one teammate that is aggro. Especially on a map such as Bind. You know, for example, if Gecko wants to fight for the long, for the garden, or push the long, play with him. Even if you're not right, at least we can use an instant teleport and support our teammates on A. Together. What Omen is doing right now on B is the absolutely worst shit that you can do on a defender side of Bind. If you are this type of a player in ranked, you deserve to lose. Yo, Kjol! Philip! How are you, man? What's up? Nothing. We need to speed up with coaching. I have a lot of VOD reviews to do. Mala, what's man? Or girl, I mean girl, not man.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Listen here, let me tell you a story. Every match is winnable, and there's not a single match that is unwinnable in Valorant. You can turn even a match that is 11-1 into 13-11 with a bit of luck, and that's it. And on the opposite side, you know. But not every round is winnable in this godforsaken game. If there's 5 enemies on the site that planted a spike on the B, and you're playing Chamber, and both of your teams are full buy, and you already have a Vandal with a light shield, and you have no money for the next round, this is the round where we save. Even if you lose this round, we're still 11-11. We live to fight another day. We live to close out this match to be 13-11. And we're not going to make the same mistake we made in the previous round. So, I will not even consider fighting the enemies here. The round is over. Like, in order for you to clutch this round, even in silver, you need to be at least ascendant. At least. Because, first of all, the bullets in this game, mega RNG. Like, literally, even a silver player can kill ascendant player 3 out of 10 times. Purely based on luck. They have tons of utility, plus the Clove ultimate. Like, trying to win this round with such a low economy, damaging your chances to win the 12th round for your team, not worth it at all. If you repick this and die, we fucked up. Actually, in that last round, like, what you could have used to read the enemies is, once again, the enemy's ultimate status. Like, when you're looking at the enemy's ultimate status, you're not only looking when the enemies exactly have the ultimate, but, you know, if Gecko needs only 1 ultimate point for the ultimate, on bind, you can instantly pre-assume it's gonna be a B push and play on B. But anyways, enemies were following the AB pattern for the last few rounds. I don't know why you're wasting this ability and overstacking the choke points, but don't do that.
That works.
Listen, if you were ready for what you're doing right now, it would be amazing. You know? Like, basically, if you put this setup, what you're trying to do right now is totally fine. But we need to have this teleport. And we need to be ready to scale up into this corner as soon as the round starts. So we don't lose the timing at all. And we can play some double bait setup with our Cypher. It's fine. Especially because enemies were never using any utility to scout the A short area of the map. The only recon ability they have is the Gecko's Flash. And he is never using it for A short. It's really good what they're doing right now. Just they had to be a bit faster for this. And usually, the best idea for this type of a setup is that the agent that has an escape tool is the one that is baiting. And not the guy that doesn't have it. Because you can maybe get a kill for your Cypher before even he gets a contact with the enemies. And we can get away with maybe 2 or 3 kills. But with the judge, I mean, like, maybe it's a bit better if you let the Cypher take a first contact. I don't know. And I just don't know who are you trying to kill here. If you want to play with a judge in this corner, you just try to get into that corner ASAP. You heard the KO rotating. Teammate on B died. You have only one option. B rotate. Or we go behind the KO. But we cannot do that because they have the veto chokehold. Also, another valid option here would be the following. Like, okay, enemies killed my guy in the B short. I know that KO is rotating and he is definitely going to be late in B short. So, because you have 4 headhunters, You can just put a teleport here and try to do this. And try to take this type of a fight with the enemies in B short. Before our teammates start dying on B. I literally don't know what you're doing here, like. If you heard that K.O. rotating, and they also got a kill on B, time to move. What the fuck is this teleport, man? Like, why did you place the teleport all the way here? If you're gonna play that close to A short. But just imagine a world where we have a Vandal right now. Instead of this fucking judge.
I'm a good shot. My ult is ready.
One enemy remaining.
Even though the next round is going to be 12 or 11, you should still save in this round. Because you can save the operator for one of your teammates. You have your own ultimate for the next round, and once again, we live to fight another day. And to go into the overtime. Your chances pulling out the overtime in the next round with such a low economy is going to be mega low. Possible, but mega low. And going for this 1v4 retake once again, when the enemies know where you are. You need to be minimum Ascendant player to pull this shit off. Maybe even Immortal. Even in Silver. Very good, very good. Like, there's no way, like, you cannot win this type of rounds. It doesn't make sense trying to win them. We still have one round to play. We still have the overtime, like, our economy is shit. We need to do something about it. Now we drop this operator to, I don't know, whoever is the second best teammate in our team. We play our own op with a heavy shield, headhunters, and that's it. And where should we play? On the B side. Or, I mean, in this case, you need to play on A because literally your whole team is on the B right now.
Teleport's ready.
We talked about this angle multiple times. You should be dead here, no? What the fuck is Clove doing? Oh, she's on the smoke iPad.
Destroyed.
How do you put that trap on the showers? Okay. Dangerous mongoose, man. Dangerous, bro.
Trap destroyed.
Spike down A.
What a criminal round. Criminal round. Listen. Overall, it's fine what you did. You know. We could have maybe chose a better setup, like which I've already explained at the start of this VOD review, you know, all the shiz that we can do. But everything was okay until this moment of time. Like, here, when you don't know if enemies can peek you from top of the bench, from the backside, or from the right side, your only job is to hold the peak from middle of the bomb site and from the right side. You're gonna hear if the enemies are trying to revive their KO. But you cannot be so overly exposed without the teleport ability and prone to 1, 2, 3, 4 different type of peaks. We need to eliminate some of these angles. And we don't need to play this wide open. Anyways, we're 3 versus 4. Yeah, 3 versus 4. If KO dies. And if they try to revive that motherfucker, that's it. Also, I don't know why you didn't use your ultimate here. Maybe he did at the start of the round. I don't remember. If you used it, that's good. Because, you know, like, one of the most powerful shits with Chamber is what Horkus does always, but it is stupid doing that unless it is the last round of the match in low elo. Like basically, you know, you go for one shot, then instantly up and try to pump the enemies. Now listen, first of all, every overtime is a 50-50 gamble. Like, no matter how good of a strategy you call out, you never know what the fuck is gonna happen. Whenever you have an option to not play an overtime, just don't play it. It's a gamble that you're never willing to take. If you didn't win a match in 24 rounds, that's it. Now, in overtimes, just try to do what was working the most in the regular part of the match. Don't gamble too much. Because if you do make a huge gamble based on nothing, only God knows what's gonna happen. What we are doing right now is totally fine, solid. The B set was weaker for the enemy team on the attack. Doing a 5-man push through B long is probably the best strategy you can do anyways in overtime on bind. We just need a proper smoke setup and that's it. Now buying operator in overtime on the attack, I would probably never do it. The only maps I would recommend you to do that is like Abyss, maybe Abyss, Breeze maybe? I mean Breeze definitely, why not? Like it doesn't matter. And that's it, I guess. Like, you know, the problem is like in overtime, I just don't know how the enemies are gonna position. What the fuck are they gonna do? I mean, we can use the reads from the regular part of the match. Like, you know, we can pre-assume that Gecko is gonna do this shower's push and maybe get a pick there. Why he was doing that 8 out of 12 rounds on the attacker when we were on the attacker's side. But if I'm going B long onto the B side, we really don't know what we're gonna fight right now. Our Cypher is mad a bit, huh? Professional molly. Listen, like if you already scale up so deep into the garden, like if you're already searching for the pick with the enemies, for the fight with the enemies here, wide open, put this teleport, and then what the fuck, I cannot recall it. Put this teleport, and then wait for the enemies to peek you and wait for a fight. Anyways, you're gonna use that teleport for the execute on B. Dash trademark does absolutely nothing. Like, if you're always using a trademark to reveal the enemies, like, it should be somewhere here. To fully scout enemies there and more towards the elbow. But anyways, why even using that trademark? Your teammates are not ready to go out. No one is basically ready. We know that probably, like, at least there's 4 enemies on the B set right now. They have a Yoru for the fast teleports. We heard that like 2 or 3 enemies on the site already, based on their utility. But I'm not gonna lie. A bit unlucky. Like, Clove did the perfect medal, and the guy killed us with a body shot. Anyways, you should not be in overtime right now. Like, we could have closed this match so many times on defense. What's that?
They found my trap.
Those Gecko flashes are actually not that bad, like, sometimes.
Spike down A.
Teleport's broken.
I don't know why did you leave this position for an example. You have 2 teammates on the flank. Actually 3 teammates now when the Cypher teleported. Your Omen is on tower. Just hold the backside with the op and wait for your teammates to complete the flank, and that's it. And please reset that teleport if you're not gonna use it.
Teleport's broken.
Okay, so what do we need to do right now? Literally just chill. Nothing. But I guess our Cypher give up, huh?
Last player standing.
That's 3. My ult is ready.
You should use your ultimate here. Ultimate is always much better than op. And there was no reason for you to pick this. Like, listen. Especially when you're low HP. If you don't know exactly where is this KO, if his backside bench or something, just jump spot. Before you do anything else. Like, do this. In this healer, you're not gonna die. Like, there's no way that KO is fast enough to kill you, even with 26 HP. And then take a fight. Cypher gave up a long time ago. One thing that is really sad in this VOD review is that you kinda knew for a lot of rounds that Gecko is picking showers. I think we got info that he was doing that 3 times by our teammates. And 3 times is already too much. And we can pre-assume that he's gonna be doing that during the game. We can punish that guy quite easily. Yeah. I think we saw that guy on the minimap. Maybe. Hopefully. Yeah, we saw him.
I can't use that.
Destroy these teleports, like, don't let the Yoru bamboozle you. If you hear the teleport, kill it. Like, because when you're in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the fight, if he uses a fake teleport, maybe some of your teammates are gonna turn away. Maybe he goes for the real TP with the flash. I just don't know what he's gonna do. And also, God knows how your teammates are gonna react to that teleport. If they're gonna react at all. Like this Cypher is such an insufferable player, like literally, but nothing changes in Valorant. That is so funny. Like these type of players you get from Iron to Radiant in this game. Like the community is so bad, bro. Like in both League of Legends and Valorant, it is just insane. Like we are literally 5v3. We made an advantage. We're planting the spike, and Cypher is still trolling.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Like you really need to love this game to play it in 2025, to be honest. Very good. Most of our rounds we lost on B. Very good that we're playing on B side. Anyways, in the first overtime, enemies went A, so we can predict that they're gonna go B in the second one. Same as before, like, so how should you play this round? Okay, we can hold this with op, but when you're holding this angle with the operator, you never hold it like this. Just go all the way back here to reduce the enemy's, you know, advantages, and hold it like this. As tight as your reaction time allows you to get a kill here. Then we can get a kill here with a Headhunter, maybe destroy the Gecko's flash. Try to go for another shot and TP into the site. Love it. Listen, if you can take a fight with the enemies with a teleport, even if you end up 4v4 or with an advantage, take it. As long as that fight is not dangerous, and as long as you're gonna TP in time. Like, if you already know that enemies are long, like, hold this a bit. You know, maybe they peek you, and then when these enemies are close, and if these enemies don't peek you, TP away. But we can take this fight, as long as you have teleport. Oh, you even have a trademark for the window. What do you feel for the teammate who went AFK and left you in a 4v5 or nothing, bro? Like, literally, I don't care about that anymore. And once again, please reset those teleports, man. Like, you TP'd out. Don't let the enemies destroy it. If they destroy it, you're not gonna have it again. And also, it is quite dangerous what you're doing here. You got a kill. We're 4v4. Like, you cannot be peeking from the CT like this without a TP. Let your ISO take the elbow control. And all you need to do is just hold this line of sight. And hold the backside push. You cannot like do anything else. The problem is right now, if you die, only God knows what's gonna happen. Like, at this moment of time, we need to give up the site. Since we wasted our teleport for nothing. Like, this was too dangerous because that Yoru could have picked you from inside of the tube, from the left side, from the I mean, not window, but from top of the site, from the right side. Like, this was a pure lucky shot or lucky kill. Lucky timing. And you don't want to rely on luck in Valorant. When you don't need to, of course.
Teleport's ready.
Last player standing.
¿Aló? ¿Habla español?
Player
Which video game are we playing? Can somebody explain this to me? Because I don't know. How is that not a kill? How is this not a shot? Like, even if the box is there, like, this bullet should penetrate like that. It's a tight angle. And it is actually above the boxes slightly. Here, what you could have done, you could have teleported into the site, because you still have a TP in the middle of the bomb site, and you can instantly support your ISO and fight this KO in the window. Think about these opportunities. Okay. Overall, we covered enormous amount of shit. Enormous amount of shit during this VOD review. Not only for the silver players, but also for every player that is in between Iron 1 and Diamond 3. Now, Captain Gorgeous. Like, even though you top fragged in this match, like, you have a lot of different things that you can fix. Through private messages, I'm gonna share with you some trainings. First of all, you need to have a proper warm-up and aim training. Like, we need to fix some of these mechanical problems because sometimes you're maybe good, but sometimes you're shit as well. So let's try to be consistent there. Then when it comes to awareness 0. Like, literally, awareness is your biggest enemy. Like, sometimes, I don't know, it's like your brain shuts off completely. And even if you hear the enemies, you know where they are, you don't respect that information at all. Knowledge obviously can be a bit better, and all of the other stuff that we've talked about, we're gonna continue our talks through private messages. Other than that, for the YouTube channel, thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one, you know? Peace.